Yo. Not quite sure what's gonna happen. Test. 1, 2. We got audio. I don't know if it's gonna work though. Could do. That might help the blend a bit better. Don't know. I'll check back in a minute. Yeah, let's check on our sounds. We can't. Battery is dead. Alright, we can get into the more serious stuff a little later. Let's keep it light for now. What is that? What is that? Vengeance for the Fallen. Lamp bearer. I have no idea what that is. What's up, Suckerfish? How you doing, bro? Yeah, we're just gonna keep it like nice and chill for a bit, at least for say a moment, and then maybe we can get back to the hardcore kind of social questions after the fact. What's up, Yogi? I'm trying a game called Lords of the Fallen. Like I haven't really been able to lock in and get into it, but I'm trying to give it a fair shake. Because every time I switched on, we've just been in deep conversation. I've not even paid attention to the tutorial. So I actually know how to play it properly. Saying that, are we live? Are we live? That's an interesting question. It's super slow. What's up, Goose? Goose. Oh, what you doing, bro? Messing up my scheme. Oh yeah, so apparently we are live. But yeah, I obviously, as always, I'm willing to have any conversation at all if which you would like. Hey, I appreciate you. I hope I succeed also. But succeed at what? I don't know. But yeah, so open panel. The question is really just, what superpower would you have and why? A doppelganger. Is that really a superpower though? Oh, do you mean like double yourself, or just have someone that looks just like you? Or like you can make someone else look like you. Oh, let's see. Why though? What would you do with that? Let's see. Oh, we got green flashes. Yo. Let's see. Oh, we got green. Underlay. We got green flashes. Underlay. And Gooseball, you know what? That's actually a question I was going to ask for this stream about time travel. What would you do if you could time travel? Should we just change it to that instead? But yeah, what exactly would you change though? That's the question. All right, so what makes you assume that you're going to be getting in a fight just because you have a superpower? It's like Cheryl Wee says invisibility. Why? What are you going to do with invisibility? I don't think there's many things you could do with invisibility that isn't deviant in some way. So why invisibility? But yeah, we'll let the first half of the stream rock out, then we'll maybe get into something more substantive, if you will. Bruce glitched. But could you really say you was conquering evil if what you had to do was be invisible? One could say that's a type of evil as well. Or maybe just, well, it depends. What kind of evil would you tackle with invisibility? Yeah, true. The reality is, though, like, simply having a superpower also doesn't mean you'd be a good guy. That's the other problem as well. And it might even be more worthwhile being a villain, having a superpower, than being a hero. So, when you actually think about it, right? Heroes essentially just maintain status quo. They're not necessarily aware of it, but at least villains are actually fighting to change the world. Heroes aren't really fighting to change the world. Heroes are heroes because they maintain the status quo. So having a power and using it to change things might make you be perceived as a villain, but it depends on what the cause is, you know. Whereas like think about a Superman, for instance, right? All the power in the world, yet capitulates to the United States president. Right? There was one episode of there's a couple of different episodes of Justice League where you get like an alternate Superman. There's like the crime mob, Justice League. That was interesting. But apparently there's also a communist version of Superman as well. In fact, in the last Justice League movie I watched, it's an animated movie. Wait, actually, what was that about? That may have been may have been a Constantine movie. But anyways, right, something weird happened in their world, and they was going to look for Superman, like this alternate Superman. And when they got there, it was a woman, but she'd been captured by Russia instead of America. It was an interesting twist. But anyways, why are we talking about this? I don't know. Right, so so Goose said if a child and a man was fallen, which one would you save, right? If there was no context, then the child. But if you give context, then it depends, you know. It really does depend. Because you might end up in a situation, right, put it like this. Would you unalive baby Hitler, or would you not intervene to stop baby Hitler unaliving? My name's Seth, by the way. So that's the thing. Now, like the cultural correct thing to say, or at least the virtue signaling correct thing to say is, yeah, I would save the child. But if you was to break it down into a more rational point of view, it would make sense to save the child because they got more life ahead of them than they have behind them. But if you add context to that child and why that child is in the situation it's in, then maybe your answer might change. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly it. I know Gooseball, right? That's like the typical approach because the child has more life ahead. You make that decision, but it really depends, right? Yeah. For instance, like I don't know, in some alternate weird world, you had the choice between saving just a random child and the leader of the free world or something like that. Like, what is the right choice to make then in that kind of situation? Or, you know, it's nuanced. Yeah, I play horror games all the time. Just can't Can't play most of them on the internet. That's the only problem. Or at least without getting heavy restrictions. But you can request up. I am going to change the topic soon, but I thought it'd be interesting to see what people say. Get the typical invisibility, I would fly kind of shit, but someone is thinking of something. That is better than invisibility and flying. A Tubi documentary. I've never even used Tubi before. What are they saying in the documentary? If you could time travel. Should we actually start this fight with low health? See what happens. You know, I don't actually know. I would be somewhere in between ultra like limitless intelligence or a power like Dr. Manhattan, something to that extent. But truth be told, if you was to pick a power like limitless intelligence, meaning you could know anything, figure out everything, then technically there's not a power that you couldn't produce a substitute for, you know? Yeah, you got things you can't say. Well, come over to TikTok. The TikTok is at SetWest10. I guess you could say I'm there. Ah, we're dead. I think we're supposed to use this lamp for something, but it just depends what. But yeah, feel free to request up. The panel is open. We can talk about absolutely anything, but it's just an icebreaker topic for now. I think I'd choose speed over flight. There's more things you could do with speed than flight. She's too floaty, bro. Her attacks are slow as well. What in a skill test. The animation was fun. One or two more hits, maybe. Oh, I got her! Oh, wait, she's a phase 2. Got her ass. Yeah, you could do so much trolling, but you could also do that if you had a twin. But the chances are there is a doppelganger of you somewhere in this world that you could possibly find. What do they call them? Is it a doppelganger or facsimile or something like that? But you wouldn't think that these graphics on new gen would do. They look PS3. Look at that. Teleporting? What would you do with it? Teleporting is a pretty dope power. But what if they place a limitation on you have to know the place you're teleporting to, or else you could end up teleporting in between a wall or something like that. Teleportation is a pretty good one. I've thought about that ever since. Remember just after Frieza Saga and Goku shows up with an instant. They changed it to instant transmission, but somewhere in my mind I remember it being called instant translocation. But since then I was like, yeah, actually teleportation is it's pretty cold. I appreciate you, Cheryl. Yeah, I'm gonna be changing over to an open panel, and I'm gonna ask some difficult questions, possibly in this stream. But I'll see how I feel. The time's still going. So wherever I've already been, wherever I can see it, yeah, that's probably where I got the idea from. That's kind of that's cool, but it kind of cheapens the power, don't you think? Nah, this is Lords of the Fallen. Yeah, because all your shoes are Velcro or slippers. Nah, I'm good on that gooseball. That's not my style. I prefer playing action RPG games, story-based games. I know it's not the best to play while you're talking to people, but they're the games I like to play.
Welcome, Dark Crusader.
I thought you said Doctor. Is it Dark Crusader? The Crusades ain't nothing to glorify. I'll tell you that much. Dark indeed. Let's check out there quickly. Yeah, I've completed all of them. Only thing I need to do is a DLC in Dark Souls 2. No, Dark Souls 3. I haven't played so I've got the remastered 1, the remastered 3. I've got the original 2. So I haven't played the original 1 and 3, but I completed all of them. Actually doing a second playthrough. That just started the other night. So we can switch to that if this gets too boring. But that is also boring. I appreciate you, Suckerfish.
I have no doubt in my assessment of you as one worthy of the monumental task which lies before us, Crusader. My name is Dunmire, and I am an exactor of the Dark Crusader, the holy order of which you are now an honored member. The Church of Orient Radiance has assigned to me the duty of purging Mornstead of its Rogar blight, and ensuring the ancient tyrant Adir knows no liberation from his enduring imprisonment.
But we might reboot it and see what they say.
While the schism between the Church and Judge Cleric is of long standing, she and her hallowed sentinels
Yeah, Assassin's Creed's boring as well. Well, the old one is.
beacons which have prevented Adir's return for centuries. But now we stand corrupted and on the verge of collapse. It is to these 5 beacons you must turn your eye. Use the Umbral Lamp to cleanse them of Adir's destructive influence, and deliver salvation to a world on the brink of perdition. Rogar and Hallowed Sentinel alike will offer you no quarter, so remember, though Aureus' mercy is without limit, yours should not be.
I appreciate that. Thanks for the sub. Oh, he's a shop as well. So you got
You serve a higher purpose, Crusader.
malevolent energy. I need to fix the safe zone, it's too wide.
By Aureus' divine will, I live again. It's a miracle. And to think I raised my sword to you, when all alone you were a divine instrument sent by him to deliver my death and rebirth and bring clarity. Forgive me, Nightmare. I am Theatar of the Hallowed Sentinels, and as Aureus sustains me, so too will I sustain you. Whether by making manifest your potential or through my healing blood, contained within the sanguinarics you carry. Should you find any saintly quintessences, bring them to me, and they can bolster the power of my blood further still. The beacons must be cleansed, the hallowed sentinels restored, and Adir's malignancy eradicated. Through whatever is to come, fellow chosen of Aureus, we stand together in service of him. Our holy work continues, Landbearer.
What do I get for that?
Fellow sanctified vessel, may Aureus' divine radiance flow through you and into you.
Right, let's get a sound check. There we go.
The beacons must be cleansed, the hallowed sentinels restored, and Adir's malignancy eradicated. Through whatever is to come, fellow chosen of Aureus, we stand together in service of him.
Hmm. Wonder how much XP that boss fight gave. That's kind of weird. The bigger you make it, the more annoying it gets. So, Pre, in what way? I think just like in terms of ideological order, what comes more important to you, ideologically, race or class? Request up. I'd love to talk to someone about this and get their perspective on it. But yeah.
So the exactors found himself a new instrument. As
It's too broad. Why is it too broad?
Was intended for me should his paladin fall. And yet now here you are, lamp-bearer. Well, it seems I was right to doubt the value of a dark crusader's work. I'm Stoner, captain of the Fidelis, a group of good men and women who've made a stand against the madness which has possessed the rest of the hallowed sentinels. We made a vow to restore our order to its former glory, whatever the cost to ourselves. By Judge Cleric's grace, we'll honor that vow.
Djibouti. Let's see what we got. Test. Okay. Man, it's a slow loader. So, let's go over and look at the results. Just in general, what has more value, right? In terms of how you make decisions ideologically, are you race first or are you class first? guys need to tap the like and share. It's like obviously people are going to be shy or scared to talk about this topic, which makes it even more difficult. I think both have an impact on my life, but obviously I'm black, so race has significantly more has more impact on my life than class. Although class is very serious as well. Hello.
How we going, brother?
Good, bro. You?
Yeah, not bad. I love the green screen. I'm just imagining what would the green screen be behind you.
It's a sheet.
No, I know that, but to the imaginations out there, that
Yeah.
is like, are you have like that'd be like people don't see when we talk by ourselves. If you're doing any like podcast or video cast and that, you've got like a green screen behind you because you're in your own world when you're actually in that studio.
Yeah, I kind of get that.
And I know that you can imagine that green screen to be something else, but a lot of people can't imagine that. Like, I want to get my green screen cloth and I want to get someone who can sew and put it as a mask, so then people around me can choose what character they want me to be.
Oh, well, I guess.
Sick idea, bro.
Yeah, I guess me leaving it in green screen allows for people to do that as well if they really want to.
But you're being authentic, though. That's what I like. I love that you're being authentic because you don't need to put anything else behind you, even though you're doing that to cover up whatever. But you're still like, I don't need to play the games of I'm on a beach right now, or I'm on like a 10-story high building. Do you know what I mean?
And I'll be honest with you, I would do it, but I just can't be bothered. It takes effort. It takes effort to get it to look good. That's the problem. For it to look good,
Yeah,
it takes like all lighted and all that shit. Sometimes it's not worth doing. Yeah.
Mate, I'll tell you, you ain't sponsored yet on TikTok, or you're getting paid commission then?
Nah, I don't make money from TikTok like that.
I went on one live and it said commission based, and I was like, what is that then? Like, are they getting paid for us to go online?
On my stream? Surely they don't say that on mine.
No, not on yours,
Oh,
on someone
let's
else
see.
I went on, and it was like, come up like commission something, and I was like, oh, what, they getting paid for like being online?
They're probably selling stuff, innit?
No, it was just a live, he does it every day, like, and it was just like, I'd never seen that before, commission, so he must be getting paid something, because he's on a commission.
Okay. Wait, France, you still in the chat, bro? You said, what do you think divides the races initially? Would it not be class? In a sense, yeah, I do think class plays into racism for sure. It's part of that structure. But I don't know if it's wholly the case.
I think culture plays a big part as well. I grew up in an area that was predominantly white, and they called me names that I wasn't even from that culture, but they called me it because I looked like it.
I don't get it.
And it used to, like, basically, I got called I was a dappy, but you know, like that word.
Language,
I love TikTok Shop and all. I love TikTok Shop. I just bought some good gear off of TikTok Shop. But, like, yeah, basically, they called me names which it wasn't my culture, but it used to wind me up because it was like, do your research, find your facts out, and then come to me so then we can, like, grow.
So what is your race? What do you identify as?
Living being.
Fair, that is a fair, nice dodge as well. But like, do you care for race in that kind of way?
I care for humanity of the ones that are who are like being light to the whole thing. So there's a lot of negative, and if you can like deflect the negative to the positive, then you're winning in your own reality.
In some ways, yeah, but a lot in another way, it could be like a delusional cope.
Yeah, 100%, and respect that if that is what you think. If you've depicted every code, if you haven't depicted every code, then that is just a theory of a thought.
Wait, what? Say that again.
If you haven't experienced the whole of the code, then that is just an opinion of a theory.
Well,
that is a fault.
I didn't say code. I said cope, but so I'm not quite sure.
But I was just wondering, debate about anything. I was just curious of what would be the one thing that you would want to debate on that your loved ones that are listening now would want reassuring from what you are saying to them.
I don't know. I don't think it would really matter to me. Like, with all due respect.
They don't shape your world.
Yeah, with all due respect, they're related to me, but their thoughts don't really matter.
Do they not
I hope they would. I hope they would understand what I'm saying as well, and take some solace in that.
Do you not think they shape your reality?
In what way?
It's like you're wearing some clothes and then all of a sudden your mum goes, "Don't wear that, son. That's like disgusting." Like, do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? That's like now
as a
she's putting in
child,
your
yeah,
head.
as a child, she could say that. But look,
Are you a child of the creator?
I would say I'm not impervious to influence, and I'm also not I'm not above human beings. So I'm influenced in other ways, and I'm coerced in other ways. But in general, the ideal would be to not be phased by the opinions of or ideas of anybody else.
Yeah, 100%. That's well
Ideally,
wisdom.
so it really wouldn't matter as long as I'm doing what I think is the right thing to do at that moment. That's all that should really matter.
I love the positivity. Did you get that from your dad or your mum?
I just thought about it just now, mate.
Like, are you the black sheep of your family though?
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to say for sure. I don't know. I think in some ways, like everyone has like a narcissistic thing where they think that they are something more than they are, perhaps. But I don't know.
Just out of curiosity, what is your definition of narcissist?
So someone who has like put it this way, in an analogy, if we was just like talking about the grass being green, the person would find a way to bring that back to themselves. Or if we're talking about like a football or whatever it is, it would always centre back around to them. Now, there's obviously like a medical clinical definition of narcissism, which goes into like malignant narcissism and delusions of grandeur, all that kind of shit. I'm not being that specific when I say narcissism, but I just mean like,
Oh no, that's what I was asking.
just mean like
yours,
main
because I know
character
that-
type of view.
Yeah, no, I get that because the doctors will say take a headache tablet for having a headache.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But before that, they would say, right, go like have some stinging up with tea or something like that. But it's completely like not
That was
the
low
same
key.
anymore.
That was low key very niche. Stinging out tea, boy. Holy shit.
Hey, do you know what? I say stuff, right, and I'm not degrading us of language, but I say stuff that will resonate with others that I don't even know that it's resonating because of that code.
What do you mean by code, though? I don't get.
Like language is the code.
In what way?
Well, like if I can't speak your language and I'll wave at you, it means I'm saying hello.
Mm.
So it's a code that is a universal coding of saying hi, how you doing?
Yeah, I guess in a non-verbal kind of way. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, every language is because I say to people words and or your you know what I mean. Like you send a message to someone, they will read it completely opposite of what you actually meant.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in the same text of what you was thinking, but you was just not how they was thinking you was thinking it.
Yeah, kind of. That was a very strange way to say it, but I get what you mean.
Mate, I'm called the crazy thinkers because I think outside of the norm, but I know that deep down everyone has a crazy thought compared to everyone else.
Yeah, I guess you could say that in some ways. Yeah.
Like I said to my nan's 92 years old, I said to her, Nan, what's the most craziest thing you've ever experienced in your life? And she said, moving stairs.
What?
You know escalators?
Oh, okay. I
But
started
she
thinking of
didn't have
something else.
escalators growing up. She didn't have escalators growing up. So that is crazy. Standing on a step and moving. I'm getting fat, mate. I am. I'm getting fat. I'm getting like... I'm going to start bloating out. I'm going to get on the old jibby jab to get slim. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, no. I just see your thing about debate about anything.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a bold topic because every time I debate, it's usually I'm not allowed to speak about the stuff because otherwise, like the show goes down, and I don't really want to get anyone's show shut down because I'm speaking the truth.
Well, if you do it in the correct way, it shouldn't be a problem. Well,
I get it. That's
you know,
code. I like it.
Well, yeah, there you go. Right? If you work within the terms and conditions, and you're good.
Well, I'll be right back. My daughter's ringing me, but I will still be listening.
I appreciate it.
Respect.
So yeah, it is open to debate absolutely anything. Well, background noise. Is that mine? But yeah, anyway, just open to debate absolutely anything. But I do want to know how people feel about race and class and how they compartmentalise that. We're gonna have to probably restart because again we're in the drag algorithm, so let's reboot. It's our timing right now. Faceless, go. I saw you request up and drop down, bro. What did you want to say?
I was gonna say, I think, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, race or class? Which one is more important? Obviously, race is something that you can see straight away. It's not like class where you can like hide it because you can, depending on what you wear, how you dress, how you talk. You can always change your mannerisms and like elevate.
So make
Yeah, race is something you can't really change, you know? Whereas class, you can change it.
I guess, yeah. I guess that is a fact. But in the way I mean it is, do you operate from a race first perspective or a class first perspective when you're doing what you're doing in
Neither.
life?
Oh, I would say neither, but then again, so I had an experience, yeah. I used to be very pro-black because I'm a black person. And I used to be very pro-black. And I was doing a media degree. And we had to interview like a bunch of people because we was doing about men's like unaliving himself. I don't know how to put it in TikTok terms, you know?
That's fine. I would say that's pretty
And
accurate.
I was asking people questions about men and like what facilities and stuff they have and stuff. So I was just asking the public. And then this man, he was a gay man, but he was white. And he said that black people get therapy for free and also gay people get therapy for free, right?
Do we?
And then I said, okay.
Where could I get my
Yeah,
therapy?
Yeah, there's like organizations that do that.
Oh wow!
So I said, oh, that's really cool. I said, what about white people? And then he said, oh, nah, they can get it to free up to 25. Then they have to pay, you know?
What
For white
organization
men
is that?
especially. And then I said, like, that's quite unfair, you know? Like, I was like, that's not right. Like, we're talking about men unaliving themselves, you know? This is like the most important, like, therapy is not something that you should play around with, especially like, it shouldn't be, oh, you're black, you can get this, or you're gay, you can get this. It should be like, you're human, you know, you need help, you get help. That's when I changed my brain.
In a way, but what he said, if that's even true, does make sense though.
I have it on record, so yeah, I still
You're
have the
thinking
video,
about
so.
thinking about two marginalized groups. So
Either way,
potentially that does make
marginalized, not
sense.
marginalized. His answer was, they can afford it, you know. And I was like, there's working class people that are white that can't afford such things, you know. So I was just like,
True.
that's not right. Like, I don't like the division. Like, I don't like the you're this, so you can get this. I want us to all get everything that, especially when it comes to mental health, you know, something that, you know, you're vulnerable and you need help. You should get help. Kind of thing.
I'm in agreement with you there, but again, this is news to me. This is the first time I've ever heard anything like that
Yeah,
being
it was
said.
news
So
to me too. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not even sure if it's true or not. But like,
Yeah,
like
well,
for the
he was talking about an organization. I don't know what organization, but he was just saying that there are charities and stuff that do give black and basically marginalized people an advantage of like, because he said the gay people first. Then I said, oh, what about black people? You know, because I'm so pro-black. So I was like, oh, what about black people? Then he said, no, they get free therapy too. Then I said, okay. And then I said, what about white people? And then he said, only up to 25. And then I said, why is that? And then he said, oh, it's because they can afford it. And I was like, but there are people that can't afford it. So that's not right.
yeah, I hear that. I hear what you're saying, and what you're saying is valid. But I don't
So
think
I don't think
I
I'm
think
pro-black anymore.
therapy
I
should
think
ever
I'm
be something
humanitarian.
that's just given out like that. I don't think.
What do you mean? Why shouldn't it?
Because you've got to think about it. It's a practice. It shouldn't just be like buying a
Yeah, but
bag.
if somebody's actually needs it, you don't think it should be
Yeah,
given out
no,
like that?
right. If someone needs it, that's what I'm saying. But right,
Exactly. So
we live
it
in
should be given out like
we
that.
live in like a neoliberal type of postmodern culture where it's actually designed for celebrities to be like, oh, I'm going to refer you to this. Have you seen my therapist? And it's a type of like cultural or class signaling to say that I have a therapist, whether you need the therapist or not, or
Yeah,
whether
but that may be
the
the
therapy
case for
works or
some
not.
people. that may be the case for some people, but it's
You're
unfair
right. No, no,
to
you're
say
right.
that,
But
you know, like,
the
oh
reason
yeah,
I'm saying that, the reason I'm saying
that's
that
how
is
it goes.
because you should get therapy if you need therapy. But if you just want therapy for the sake of having therapy, that's a problem,
Of course, even
right?
I would
So
agree with
that's what
that.
I
But
mean.
who would have, you know what I mean? We're talking about something like for men that are or women that are
Yeah. So
like
in that specific
experiencing
case,
thoughts that are
yeah,
not helpful to them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
So
that's what we were discussing, is what I'm
right, right.
saying.
I understand what you're
So
saying. In
money
context,
shouldn't be brought in, or even race or sexuality. None of that should be brought in. You
I
know?
would disagree with that
Whoa,
at
you would
various different
disagree.
levels. Yeah, because think
When
about it
it
like
comes
this,
to
right?
something like unaliving yourself, you would disagree.
No, not in totality, but just to apply nuance to it, right? For all right, so you should already know about things like medical racism and how like people of marginalized cultures interact with the healthcare system. So to just say the brute fact of, oh, we give black people therapy for free doesn't necessarily entail helping black people in as a fact of the matter, you know. So even within
But
that,
it being free is helping black people. I'm not gonna, let's be fair.
potentially, but here's the next level to it, right? When you look at how the mental health system is structured and like the study of psychology, there's a systemic bias towards Western, or what's called Western educated, indoctrinated, rich, and democratic. Weird for short is the acronym, and that sets the what you would say the neurotypical standard. Whether everyone in that, for instance, class comes into it, poor working class Jimmy versus upper or middle class Tommy, right? Their psychological outcomes will be different based on their class. So even in their demographic, not everyone fits that neurotypical framework, right? But it gets stranger when you start saying, all right, I want black people to fit into this neurotypical framework, which isn't designed to actually think about. Put it this way: if you approach a black person with a white person's therapy plan, right, you're approaching them
But
ahistorically.
that's what
So
I'm trying
so
to
the
say. Like,
therapy might
listen,
actually
wait.
hear what I'm saying, but the
Let
therapy
me push
might
back
actually
quickly.
become worse if not done
Let me push back.
correctly.
Let me push
That's all
back
I'm
quickly.
saying, right?
Let me push back. I've had therapy, yeah. Not for like something very serious. Thank God I don't have any mental health issues or nothing. But I had it at a time when I was going through a lot of difficulty. And I had a black therapist and he was a man.
Lucky you.
And I could choose. So it's not even like they just like, there are people that you can choose, you know, there are organizations
Ideally,
where you choose
yes, that's ideally.
your
But
therapist.
if you're talking about like a state sanction, we just throw out therapy. You can't necessarily choose, just like you can't necessarily choose
They'll
who's
probably
in your
ask you, I'm not
GP
gonna
center.
lie. They
Well,
would
I don't
probably
know.
ask you like,
I've
what
never
kind of
got
therapist would you want? Because that's what happened
I've
with
never
me.
got free therapy. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know, right? So I'm just saying like from a
Like even
speculative point
someone
of
in the
view.
comments is also saying you can choose and switch. So these are things that are available to people. So your point
I hope
still
that's
is like,
true. I hope that's true. Don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is, look, all right. So even on the standards of how many black people actually go through getting their psychology degree and getting a specific qualification to be able to practice as a counsellor, is significantly lower than the amount of white people that do, based on where we live. Obviously, right. So the chances are, if
you don't know
if
that.
a no, this is it would statistically be correct. If we're like just over something million population in the UK, to think that there's the same proportion of black counsellors as there is white counsellors would be stupid, because there obviously
No,
isn't.
but we don't know
Right?
how many every year that are becoming therapists
Yeah,
and graduating in that field and
yeah,
being
but it would always be less.
therapists.
That's all I'm trying to explain, right? So
Because our population is there. I understand that.
exactly.
But
So if you were to say we should just give out therapy for free, the chances of you arriving at the point where you get therapy that does actually help you for your specific needs are significantly lower. That's all I'm saying, right?
I don't agree with that though. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't say, oh, it's not gonna help you that much. It does help. Like
If you
it
get
does
it,
help.
if you get it.
Yeah, if you get it. And another thing is not everyone signs up to it. So even then it's like
Who
not
even
everyone is
knows?
getting it.
That's the problem, right? So, all right. So you also got to understand
Because not
in
everyone
in the
signs up. Like
UK, right?
for example though, I know, like let's just use my family. I'm probably the only person that's gotten it out of my whole family.
That's
And there's
good.
8 of us. So there is
80.
a very eight.
That's
So
a
there is a
goddamn.
low amount. Like if you look at like probably an average of a family of like the amount of people that are getting
Right.
or
So
gotten
listen,
therapy in the
but hear
past.
hear what I'm saying though, right? In the UK, we have a disproportionate amount of black people being unduly sectioned when they go to these places for help
I agree with that.
instead
Yeah,
of
I
getting
see that stuff.
therapy. So that speaks to how the system is actually working versus how you ideally want it to work. So for the
Listen,
people,
we're
so
not
for the
talking
people
about
who are
how it's actually
no,
working.
but for the people who are actually asking their GP for therapy, they're less likely to get the therapy, whether they're black or white. But if they're black, the health
It
outcomes are
depends. It
disproportionately
does depend on
worse,
your
right?
GP and all these other factors, right? It depends on like your GP. It depends on who you go to or the organization you go to. It depends on all of that. But what I'm trying to say is forget even how it's working. It should be that, so if someone is thinking about unaliving themselves, they should get it, right? That you would agree with that.
Well, yeah. See, like there
So
is a process though, right? For someone that's going through like a mental health crisis, there's what's called an early intervention team, who ideally you get handed over to through your GP. But even that process isn't seamless, and it's got plenty of people that
yeah,
want
but
that
there's
want
a
a
lot of
job
factors that
that don't care
that
about the
address.
people, right? So you have to understand that. Now that disproportionately
But there's a
affects
lot of
race,
factors
but it
that
also
affect that. For
affects
example, the
class, right?
NHS not being having staff and stuff like this has affected
Yeah,
the service of the NHS and how well they're doing.
obviously,
So
right?
there's many factors that
Obviously,
affect this.
obviously.
But the thing is, for me, um, yeah, what are you? Are you pro-black or are you like a humanitarian?
You could be both. What does that mean? Do you think
I
black
would say
black people
like,
aren't a part of humanity? Like, what does that? What's that even
yeah, but I
mean?
would say like before, like now I feel
They're not.
like
They're like
I used to
mutually
be very
exclusive things.
pro-black, but I used to be very pro-black. But after that interaction where I saw this man basically like
So what is your
he didn't care about other people, you
what is
know
your
what I
reading
mean? Like,
foundation? What have you read? Kind of, how did you arrive at being pro-black? What was the process? Just walk me through that. Explain that to me.
how did I? No, I'm no. I don't think I'm like I wouldn't consider myself as pro-black anymore. I would consider myself as a humanitarian. Like I love everyone. I care about everybody, and yeah,
That's
I
that's
wouldn't.
that's a fine position to have, but I'm trying to understand, what do you think it is? What exactly do you think made you a pro-black before?
Because like I mean, before I still have the same kind of ideology. I just don't think that it's good to like not care about other people. Do you get me? Because you're so pro-black, you don't care about other people. Do you
So
get me?
so being
So
being
for
pro
example, the
something
things that made
doesn't
me
make you
pro-black.
anti something. You realize that?
Yeah,
You're
but
speaking to a different type of ideology.
after I saw that guy's indoctrination, how much like he disregarded other people because he put himself first. Also another thing is I'm Muslim, right?
Ooh,
So yeah, so that's another thing is I'm Muslim. So
are you
tribalism
from
and all of this is
East Africa?
yeah.
There you go, right? So you've got some like serious hurdles and
No,
barriers to jump through already, right? Because
no.
you're
Like when I
you're
say I'm pro-black, I
genetically
mean I
Arab
want to
and
have a black
African, and
family.
it's
I
just
want to have a black
it's a
family.
mess.
I buy from black people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very conscious with how I spend my money.
That's good.
Um, I read on history. I promote any black businesses that I find. I do love my people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
but
you know,
at the same time,
you
I
could
never
do the
ever want
right
to have a
things for the
disregard
wrong
for
reasons,
humanity.
though. You realize that you could
Pardon?
find, so you could do the right things, but for the wrong reasons, right? So you could arrive at a conclusion that's correct, but arrive at it in the wrong way. So you kind of miss the working out of why you should have been doing that, why you should have been thinking that, instead of just doing that.
No, I feel like that interaction with me and the man changed me in a way because I thought like he didn't have any regard for other people, because he was so like
Yeah, that's
concerned
a
about his own people.
that's a person though.
Yeah, and I didn't want to be like that. I was like, bro,
Yeah,
like
you're
I
not
never ever
obliged to
want
be
to
like that
say,
though.
I never ever want to say like, oh, like bun that person because like my people need to. Do you know what I mean? It's like we all should be, especially when it comes to something like unaliving yourself. That really like struck me, like
Well, yeah. Well, look, right.
so.
If you need to
After that, I was like,
have like just a slight wake up reminder, right? Look what's just taken place in our news cycle this week. For 9 days straight, the media hounded a black guy based on racist ideology from a white guy. Now this black professor is dead. Okay? From what? Unaliving himself. So if you don't take heed of the reality that's around you, then you're just fooling yourself.
No, I'm not like ignorant about the realities of life. Don't get me confused. Like, I'm not ignorant about the realities of life, but also I'm not gonna
So as a wider society,
disregard other
where
people. Do you
where was the
understand?
concern for the vulnerability of that guy?
Yeah, but that's the media.
That's our country.
And another thing is, I feel like personally with that case, this might seem insensitive, but if he did lie about all of that and it did
He
get
didn't.
exposed.
He didn't lie. The plagiarism
Excuse
thing
me,
was a
you're
lie
saying that he didn't lie, but
because the information's
nobody's
out
running
there.
600 miles in 6 days.
No, no.
I have yet to see.
Oh no, like that's probably all like that's probably like gossip mill bullshit. But if you're talking about the actual legal allegations
There's a
of
lot
plagiarism,
of stuff that was said.
exactly, because it's this is
that
what I'm
he
this,
said.
this is what I'm saying to you, right? If you don't
listen,
if
no,
you
no,
don't
what I'm trying to
understand
say is,
why a
if
black
what
guy
they're
would be
saying has
magnified at that level, then you
what
don't
they're saying
understand
has
what
merit.
it means to be pro-black at all.
If what they're
right? You
saying
don't
has
get
merit,
it.
what they're saying has merit, yeah.
Oh boy.
You can't be like, oh, don't report on that, because if it has merit, if it's true, it's true. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yes, but have you independently verified that anything that's been said is true?
The plagiarism.
Yeah, and what happened by the actual university? They went through
There
it.
was over 100 copies made
No.
with the original,
Rog, that's
copy,
incorrect. This is what I'm saying.
manuscript
You-
with the same spelling errors.
Listen,
Have you read the article?
listen. Yes, I've looked at it, right? So, what
He
happened?
had the same errors as someone
What
else's
happened?
work, the same spelling errors and everything.
Yes, listen.
Over 100 copies.
I think you you might be bugged out. I'm not even gonna lie, right? But listen,
No, this is literally
listen.
from the
Hear what I'm
article,
saying, right?
like the Guardian.
They went through exactly. The Guardian is a right wing newspaper. This is what you're
And
not
the
understanding.
Telegraph
They're
also
all
said
right wing. That's what I'm saying to
doesn't
you.
matter if they're right wing, does
You're
it have
not
merit?
thinking. You're not critically thinking about where you're getting your media sources from, right? So think about what I'm about to explain to you. If he went through the process, the tribunal with the university to have the work published, and they said no, it's not plagiarism, just an amendment because he forgot to cite the woman in one section, but he cites
There
her
was
later.
over 100 copies.
Right, this
with
is-
the same
that-
spelling errors as the woman.
That makes no difference to what has actually
The same
occurred.
spelling errors as the woman.
Think about
When
what I'm
about to
saying
say
to you,
that's not
right?
copy?
Think about what I'm about to say to you. In the context,
I've been to university. I have a degree.
I've been to university as well, right?
So what are
to
you
hear
talking
what-
about? If you have over 100 copies,
Right.
you think you can have over 100 copies
Oh
with the
my
same
God,
spelling
bro.
mistakes?
All right, so
Be honest.
the value of what's being said about his academic career versus the outcome of the man being dead, right? How do you balance that?
Pardon?
The value of what's been said about his academic career versus the man now being dead, how do you weigh that?
For me personally, yeah, it's like if what they were saying had merit, it had merit, and you have every right to report that. At the end of the day, that's news. You can't tell people, oh, don't report this. Do you get me?
I didn't say not to
'cause he's
report it.
black or because he's this. It
All
doesn't.
right, so
like,
now,
we
if
would
you're the truth is, if your concern is actually
But-
about accreditation in academia,
for me, it's
you
it's,
would
it's-
also
Are you reporting right news? Are you
you
reporting?
would also be aware of the
correct.
amount of professors that are white, which didn't work and have worked at Cambridge, who are also guilty of plagiarism and still have their jobs and are still
that's
alive.
wrong. Yeah,
Right?
that is wrong. That's
So-
not
so-
right that they
so
have their
if
jobs.
you-
But at the end of the
right.
day, he quit his job. He quit. Don't forget that.
Exactly, right? Because of
Nobody
how
fired
our
him.
country is structured. This is what I'm
No one
explaining
fired
to
him
you.
though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh
No,
my
they didn't
God.
fire him, so you can't say they still
Right,
have
so-
their jobs and
sorry,
no one fired him.
Let's
He
take a
quit.
step back. Let's take a step back, right?
But
What?
no, but
no,
stop,
listen.
stop.
No, don't tell me to stop.
You made a
I'm
point.
explaining something, right?
You made a point.
Explain to me what exactly was it in your ideology that made you believe you were pro-black, right? Just go back to the beginning of the
Why are we
conversation.
going back to that?
Because
We're
that's
talking
more.
about this.
That is way more important than what you've
Why
said
are we
about
talk-
this guy. I'll be honest with you. It's way more important.
I said to you,
So-
this guy came up to me. You already know he was gay.
Hmm.
We were talking about.
No.
It was-
I
it
mean,
was men's
why?
unaliving week,
Why did you think
like
you
month.
were pro-black prior to that? That's what I want to know.
Because what does pro-black mean to you? What does
Being
it mean to you?
pro-black, right? Being pro-black people or
It means
pro-African,
buying black.
right?
It means marrying black,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's a part of it, right? But
Everything I
it
said.
means
So what are you
education.
talking about?
Yeah, but I'm asking you, why did you think you were?
Because I was. What made me? What
So-
didn't make me?
So if you're saying that your interaction with a guy who was, let's just say, prejudiced, stopped you or changed your mind from being pro-black, then
Yeah,
one might
he
argue,
made me reflect.
yeah, one might argue your reasons or your view on what being pro-black was incorrect the whole time.
How was it incorrect though?
Because
You can't tell me.
I can tell you, right? Because how would you say my ideology, which puts my race first, given the historic reality of my people, right? Whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Europe, or you're in America, would then be simply defeated because one guy lacked empathy for other people of a different
No,
race.
it made me reflect, like what I could end up being like. Do
That's
you
not
understand?
pro-black.
I'm a person that thinks a lot. Okay, I think a lot about everything.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Also, it's really important to think about really what you're believing in. You know, I don't want to be in a cult. Okay,
But you're
I wanna
Muslim.
Have my own mind. I want to be free.
But you're a Muslim.
So what? I'm a Muslim.
That's a
faith,
cult.
mate. No, a cult. How is it a cult? Define a cult.
Yeah, it's
Define a cult.
it's whenever a group of people get together and hold a specific belief. Once it reaches critical
No,
mass,
a cult is also someone you're paying. You have to pay someone to.
Do you
to-
pay
to
tithes?
lead you prayers or stuff like this.
no,
Like,
no, darling.
there is no.
Cults
Or else
become
you're gonna call any group
religions,
that
right?
have the same
No,
ideology. a cult.
once
That's
once
like,
a
allow
cult
it, bro.
reaches critical mass, it becomes a religion. This is a historic fact,
Stop
right?
it. Stop it. That's your only. That's your
Oh
definition.
my
and
gosh,
it's
right?
funny
So no,
because
I'll
you're
just
coming
read
from
you
my
the
religion.
definition. A
coming
cult,
from
a
my religion
relatively
and
small
and
group of
saying I'm in a
people,
cult.
a
That's
relatively small
disrespectful.
group of people having beliefs or practices, especially relating to religion, that are regarded by others as strange or sinister or as imposing excessive control over members. That's the definition. Okay,
Yeah,
a
which
person
Islam
or
doesn't.
thing
Everyone has
that is
free
all
will.
right. So that's a subjective opinion, but that's
what
not
are
the
you talking about?
definition. And you can't prove free will as well. It's a philosophical claim.
Yeah, you can.
Right, but
Every single
as
person has a choice,
definition,
bro. They do whatever they like.
if
That's free will. What are you talking
all right.
about?
So what did you study at uni? With all due respect, I would like to know.
Excuse me. If a person has free will, do they not have the ability
Alright,
to
so-
commit crime or not?
Let's define free will.
Yeah, they
free
do.
free will is the capacity to act unconstrained by necessity or fate or at one's own discretion.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, whatever you want to do.
So, if you actually think about what that says in definition, right? A human as I know them and as you know them don't have the capacity to express that. They can make choices.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
Choice,
do.
a choice
They
is
have
not
the-
synonymous with
we
free
practice
will.
free will every day. Even the things we
I
don't
don't
do
think you're
is
listening.
us practicing. Even us doing not doing something is
boy.
practicing our free will.
Right,
Everything
so-
we do is doing free will. Like
So
is us
listen
practicing
to
our
the
free will.
definition of free will again, right? The capacity to act unconstrained by necessity or fate or at one's own discretion.
Are you saying someone doesn't have the power to do that?
Did you hear the definition or no?
Are you saying I've heard it? I'm
Right,
saying.
so
Are you saying
right, let's
someone
walk
doesn't
through
have
the
power to
definition.
do that?
Yes, I am. Let's walk through the definition. What does it
What
mean?
makes them-
What does it mean to be constrained by necessity?
Yo, host.
What's up, bro?
You said any topic?
Yeah, but just
Buckle up.
let's get through this quickly. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think she's maybe perhaps hopefully looking up the definition.
Well, you're presupposing she can read.
Hey, that's a bit rude, bro.
Hello.
What's up, bro? I should drop down. Hey, come back up whenever you want, Faceless Ghost, right? But yeah, the definition, the standard definition is the capacity to act unconstrained by necessity or fate or at one's own discretion. No human can act outside of necessity, right? And no human can act outside of fate. So you don't have free will by standard definition. Now you can have philosophical views on having free will, but it's not like it's not a biological reality. It's just a philosophical view. But anyways, what's up, Gage? What's up, Floof?
All right, man. Any topic, right?
Yeah, sure.
I believe that waffles are better than pancakes. Objectively.
I wouldn't say you can't put a sneak objective in there.
No, I can. I got
Nah.
a reasoning behind it.
Nah, you can't
No,
you
you
can't
said
sneak
let's go,
objective in
host.
there. Right, so you could say
No,
right, so the minute you said I believe, right, you're speaking about a subjective viewpoint that you hold, right? Now, although I'm somewhat in agreement with you, I just like try to go from my mind and think about what was the best
But it-
pancake I've had, and they're all pretty shit, right? So I would agree that a waffle is better, but I think
come on,
as
mate.
far as I know,
Mate,
as far
anything.
as I know, waffles are pretty much the same mixture as pancakes. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, but
Yes,
there's
you are
things that are
correct. I'm a
objectively
baker,
better
and I
about
can back you
waffles
up on
than
that. Hold
pancakes.
on, hold on,
Go
hold
on.
on. I'm a baker. I can back you up on this.
Who's that?
Waffles
Is
are
that
made
Flu?
the same shit out of pancakes.
Flu, is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you say? Waffles are made of the same thing.
Yes, I'm a baker. I can guarantee you this.
Baker man, what's
Yeah,
up?
so that's what. So hold on, host. Let me just tell you
They're
my objective
synonymous with one
reasoning behind
another.
waffles being better.
Go on.
All right.
Because they
So
pump them full
waffles,
of
you
shit.
have your
They pump
cones,
them.
right?
If you buy them at like grocery shops and that, then you're not getting an actual homemade waffle. You're getting bullshit. You're getting straight bollocks.
Well,
Yeah,
Flu, hold
probably.
on. Let me.
But
All right, host.
I
So you're
don't
gonna take
find
pancakes,
pancakes that
right?
nice either. Like thin pancakes are good. Thick pancakes a bit sickly.
Thin pancake, I think they're pretty much the same in my opinion.
No,
It depends.
objectively,
Depends who
it's going
makes
to be
them as
better.
well.
Waffles are going to be better because one, they hold your topping, right? They have little cups to hold your topping. Would you agree?
I mean,
Less
yes,
mess,
but I've not had them like that
objectively
before.
easier to eat, right? And then you have less surface area on a waffle, or it takes up less space on the plate as compared to a pancake, and you get
That's
the
not
same
true.
amount of. Yes,
You can
yes.
roll
A
pancakes.
pancake, a pancake
Pancakes
is going to have more
Pancakes can be rolled up
surface area.
in like strawberries and that. Like you can roll up a strawberry, but you can't roll up a waffle, can you?
You can roll up a waffle. It depends on how hard
And
it's
just
baked.
break.
Depends on how hard it's baked, how crispy it is.
If it's baked properly, then it'll just snap in half.
Well, we're talking about you can do that with a waffle if you choose to bake it that way.
No, yeah, if I choose to make it properly.
So a pancake is going to be a bigger circle, right? For the same amount of batter that a smaller waffle would have. Right? So a
I can't
smaller
believe
waffle
we're
is going to take up less space on the plate than a pancake, allowing for more waffles.
I feel like you've just disregarded what I said.
What you
By-
said, it's dependent
By
on how you bake
rolling
it.
up pancakes, you can roll up pancakes and make them into crepes.
Why would you want
Crepes?
crepes?
I don't think I've
Pancakes,
ever
no
had
one
a crepe
stacks
before.
waffles.
You can you stack waffles?
Yeah, I've seen
No.
pictures of
Able-
waffles
Pretty much
stacked.
no.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah,
but
exactly. You can
I've
in
ever
fact
eaten them.
stack waffles.
But you can also stack pancakes. So you can have
Oh my
more
fucking god!
flavors.
Right. Anyways, thank you for the waffle pancake debate. How do you guys feel about race and class? Let's get to it.
Race? I mean,
Race doesn't matter.
I can agree there's injustice in the world towards some races, but I don't think everyone does that to a specific race. I don't think it's an
I think-
all-encompassing thing.
I think classism is synonymous with racism, but also it's because of like history and that.
Say it again.
It's because of history. Racism is like more, what's the word? More prominent than classism.
So, I think what you're saying has some truth to it. There is classism is baked into racism, and you could say racism is also baked into classism a bit. But like
Yeah.
how they show up in society, they're quite distinctively different. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense because people are mad about other people being rich.
I think classism would be the bigger problem than racism for most people.
Why? Explain your reasoning.
Because it does
Well,
kill people.
because
Racism
if-
does
if-
kill people.
So, I'm willing to have an honest conversation with you about it. I don't really want to get it too debatey, you know what I mean? But honestly, I feel like, yes, racism does occur towards black people and people of color, right? However, I think classism is going to be the bigger effect here because looking at studies, black people generally are going to be fit into like middle or lower class. The majority. Can we agree to that?
Yes.
In some
because
places, yeah.
That's because of
Excuse me.
historical upbringings. That's because of historical upbringings.
What do you mean?
Mm,
Upbringings.
So
Because
I'm Native
racism still
American and I was
exists,
born into a
yeah,
very
but
poor
it's less
household.
prominent, but they're also synonymous. So people who are of a different skin tone will be moved lower because people see them as different.
Bro,
I think
I didn't
when
hear what
bring
you said
color
properly.
into it-
Huh?
I didn't hear what you said properly.
So it matters on race whether you're classed high or low because of historical upbringings.
So explain what you mean. I'm not following.
So, like, with all the whole slave trade and all that, those have implemented like seeds into other people's brains. Like, it was a major thing, and it's just kind of like survived that pretty much
Yeah.
because slavery still exists today with that whole McDonald's thing where people were getting trafficked through McDonald's.
Well, I didn't hear about McDonald's specifically, but I do know slavery is a real thing and still in effect in parts of the world. But what's happening with McDonald's?
So basically, a whole bunch of like Asian people were looking for work. They went into McDonald's off a sketchy guy, and they pretty much just got trafficked.
Is this in the UK?
Yeah, it was in the UK. You can type up
Ah.
McDonald's trafficking incident.
Say, McDonald's where?
Huh?
Where did you say after McDonald's?
If you type up online McDonald's trafficking incident in the UK.
Well, I know human trafficking and like Modern Slavery Act is real. Like if you do certain jobs, you get trained on that. But let's say
I've got to go.
I appreciate you, mate. But
Love you, said.
appreciate you, mate.
Oh, hey, Seth, real quick, I gotta go. Real quick,
Yeah.
the last thing I'm gonna say is that I feel like that's a horrible way for people to look like you're a lower class person because of your color, because then it becomes a crutch, right? Then people sit there from the outside looking in, anyways, right? People sit there and they're like, "Well, I'll never be anything because I'm black." Even these people agree with me, so they don't even try. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's true. I think there might be like
You don't think that's ever happened?
I think that's a type of propaganda. I don't think that's necessarily true. You could say people could be gaslit into believing that, but I don't think that's a starting point for anyone.
You don't think that's kind of a crutch though, and more of a hindrance to the black community?
No, because no,
Kind of blame it on that.
no black person I know has ever said that. It's just like it sounds like a fantasy. Do you know? Like, look, I'm not saying it's impossible for that to be the case. That someone hasn't said, do you know, they think I'm nothing, so I may as well be nothing, kind of thing. Maybe someone was down in the dumps and they said that, but as like a racial narrative, that's not a thing, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, look at it from a different point of view. Let's take the color out of it, right? Let's say that, and this is a real thing. You can look up plenty of people talking about this, right? So people that are in school that generally fucking get left behind, they're told that they're just not that smart, or they're never going to be able to do this, et cetera, et cetera. People, when you're a kid, think about it. When you're a kid, you have dreams of being, you have a dream job, right? And people tell you, well, that's impossible, so settle for something else.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's true. But yeah, if that's the context,
same thing there.
yeah. So that's what I meant by like a gaslighting type of thing. Right? But again, that's like a. For instance, if you create a world or a society in where you can manipulate people, one could say the things that they do, at the extent to when they've been manipulated, aren't necessarily the choices they're making. So if someone does find themselves in that kind of position, that's something that's been manufactured. It's not necessarily something that makes sense to do. Does that make sense?
I think that ideology kind of backs that.
In what way? Explain for me.
Well, because I can agree that like it can be harder because of the color of your skin, right?
No doubt.
I can agree to that, but I don't think that the color of your skin is inherently stopping you from doing that. You're just going to have to work hard.
Doing
Can you
what?
agree to that?
Well, yeah.
Anything you want.
But the fact that you have to work harder speaks to the conditions of reality, which you aren't responsible for.
Yeah, well, in some cases, I would even say in most cases that's going to be the case, but that's not always the case. But when it is the case, having that mindset that I can't make it happen is not going to help. Especially young black guys that really are going to like need the influence, right? They need you guys to be like, hey, instead of being like, well, racism and this is our problem. No, you need to tell these young black guys like, hey, this is how you do it, and if you got to work harder, oh well, work harder and get there. That's
All right. So a part of what you're saying is true, but to say that black people shouldn't be speaking about their realities is another question altogether.
No, I don't. I feel like talking about it's one thing, but push like bringing that up and kind of using that as a crutch, I feel like is what's detrimental. I'm not saying it's not the
Yeah,
case and you shouldn't
but
speak about it,
here,
but it shouldn't be used as a
I
crutch.
hear what you're saying, but what makes you think that anyone is using it as a crutch? That's what I'm trying to get to. Where did you get the
That
view
have
from?
you? Well, have you? I was just in a live earlier talking to a young black guy about white privilege, right? I can't do this, and I can't do this, and I can't do this, and a lot of it was just stuff he could accomplish. He just don't want to put the time into it.
Can you give an example?
Okay,
Faceless,
so
come on up, girl.
I can't remember exactly what he said, but something about he wanted to do something for a job, and he can't get it because he's black.
Okay.
No, or he wouldn't have the opportunity because of the color of his skin, right?
Yeah, but surely you're acknowledging that might be his reality, right?
It could be a factor, but you could tell that maybe it's a
Should we
factor
even
in the
allow
way
that
that
factor though to try and get in the way? Like, should we as black people not be trying to try do the most of the most? You know, especially like someone like Muhammad Ali when he had the most difficult time, and he was living in the most difficult times, and yet
No.
he made something out of himself.
Remember, Muhammad Ali was a middle class child, right? Who was afforded a certain luxury in terms of who
He
he
was
was
still in
connected
a
to.
he was still in a segregated
This is
society.
true, but Muhammad Ali was also handpicked to be a celebrity and a mouthpiece for the Nation of Islam. So yes, he faced a lot of problems, but he didn't have the average black person's life in Jim Crow, not even close.
Yeah, but he still faced racism,
Yeah, we all do.
and he experienced segregation, and segregation was very rampant at the time.
Hey,
So even he didn't allow something to stop him.
right, so
We all have
that
different
is
advantages, but
valid.
it depends
What
on
you're saying is valid, but you have to be
it
careful.
depends on
You have to be
it
careful
depends
that you
on our
don't.
ideology as well.
Right. So
Like
you
whether you
so you
think
have
you
to
can
be
make it.
careful. You have to be careful that you don't find yourself having this just pick yourself up by the bootstraps ideology and just act completely ahistorical. Right? That's dangerous.
Nobody's acting like that. I'm saying you can
That's
create
a
a
part of it.
glass ceiling for yourself by having these kind of thoughts that, oh, because of my race, I might not get as far. No, you're going to get as far as you want to get. That's what I believe.
Yes, like if in a very like Naruto Luffy type of way, yeah, I'm gonna like fight as much as I can
It's the
until I get what I
reality of our
want.
life, you know. In
But
today's time,
you
we
should
actually
also
have
be
a lot more
cognizant of
opportunities.
reality. That's the problem.
We have a lot more opportunities in today's time, and that is the reality of life. We
Yes,
have
this
a
is
huge
true.
amount.
This is true, but don't like. Oh, that guy's left now. But what
Pardon?
the guy who raised that point, right? He's left. But basically, what he was saying is that he thinks that black people use race as a crutch to not do anything. Right? I'm trying to explain to him.
I disagree.
There's a
I
difference.
disagree
There's a
with
difference
that,
in.
but
There's a difference in someone
I
describing their
disagree with having the
reality
mentality.
and making an
I disagree with
excuse.
having the mentality that, oh, because I'm black, I can't get that far.
Yeah, I think everyone would. But that's
Yeah, and that's what he
we're
said
trying.
when I
Yes,
joined.
what we're trying to get to the bottom of is why he thinks that's what's happening. Right?
No, like everyone knows racism exists, and it's true, and it's real, and it's, you know what I mean? But what we was talking about is whether a black person should think that can stop them from achieving things.
No, I don't think they should. I don't think it's healthy to think like that. But I think it's very intelligent to make a clear analysis of reality or the climate you live in.
Yeah, we know reality, but at the same time, we've also acknowledged today's time we have plenty of opportunities. Such like yourself, you're presenting yourself. Let's use you as an example. You sitting here on TikTok, communicating. You can make a platform for yourself, which
Right.
eventually makes you a lot of money. Correct?
Necessarily no, right? But possibly yes.
Exactly. There's that
But
even
that
chance that it could really work, though.
yeah, just like there was a chance for the people who made Black Wall Street to be successful and create their own micro country, but the reality came stomping on their dreams, right?
That's a whole different time.
No, it's essentially the same thing. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. How it's expressed, if the ideology remains in society and people's minds, how they're geared towards doing things, the outcomes will just represent in different modes all throughout history. So you have to address the underlying problems of why the ideology is there. So when I'm trying to explain to the white guy who thinks that black people use race as a crutch, I'm trying to get to the bottom of why he thinks that and where he got that idea from initially. Because that in
Well, that's
itself
probably
is
because
a part of propaganda.
That's what I was gonna say. Probably because he's feeding into that. Any logical person who uses reasoning skills would understand racism exists. It is a reality, and it can stop people. There's even a social. You guys can look it up. There's a experiment where um, people sent CVs, the same CV but in a different name, and the CVs that had white sounding names got a lot more responses back than those that sounded foreign. So there's research and
That's a
stuff to
reality.
prove that there is like racism and stuff
Yeah,
like that happening.
I know, but you also all right. So what, it's good that
Well, I
you're
don't. What
aware
I
of that.
didn't agree with.
But then when
Yeah,
people
hundred
actually, when
percent.
people want to talk and describe those realities which you just described, they're told, "Hey, shut up, stop complaining." Right? That's the danger, right? When you're describing something, the analysis with the data to back it, and people start doing the coded yawn, we're tired of that. You're being gaslit, and if you go along with them, you're
Yeah,
gonna
that
find
is
yourself in
gaslighting.
chains again, right?
As I
So you have
said,
to actively fight back
I
again
never
against
denied it
that.
never happened. I denied the fact that, like, yo, as a black people, though, we shouldn't have this mentality that, like, we can't achieve something because of our race. We can
I
achieve
agree.
anything we put our mind to. You should
I'm
be
in agreement.
delusional about your goals.
I'm in agreement, right? But I'm also very practical in terms of laying out reality as it is. The best, like, if you want to create a strategy to be able to do what you want to do, you could either analyze what's there already, right, and build a platform from that, or look at what could be the worst outcomes, then avoid those steps. So if you've got like
Yeah, but sometimes
a
you don't even
naturally
know the
pessimistic
worst
mind,
outcomes until you try.
right, but if you've got a naturally pessimistic mind, you can turn that pessimism into troubleshooting. So taking that person and being like, oh, you're just like a bad, like you've got like a bad aura and bad view on life. No, you're not utilizing their actual skill set, which is their ability to spot problems. Right, that's a valuable skill set, but it needs to be redirected in the right way. Do you get it?
Yeah, but also sometimes, like, yeah, you can have the ability to solve problems and stuff, but sometimes it's just, bro, don't be negative.
No,
Think more
you're
positively.
right. But sometimes it takes for one person to spot the problem and another person to solve the problem. But if you create a space where it's never okay to call out the problem, then you won't ever arrive at a
I wouldn't,
solution.
yeah, I
Right?
wouldn't, yeah, that wouldn't be okay.
That's what you're actually fighting back against in the media, on the internet. It's that. It's exactly that. Not being allowed to
Well,
call out reality for what it is.
sorry, I'm confused.
All right. So, for instance, all right, I'm sure you've probably seen like one of the million posts that are botted in our country with like the whole GB news people, the crowd, the reformers,
Yeah.
the what's the other part, the restorers, right? And you see their views. They're like overtly racist views. Now that's a small section of our population who speak so overtly, but the other section of our population are very covert with their racism. So it will be things like, "Oh, this is boring. Can't you guys get over it? Why are you leaning on racism? You're just lazy." All of these things are baked in. Sometimes said explicitly, but most of the time done implicitly. That's what you're fighting back against. Right? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. With the situation of the Arde guy, whether there's truth in it or not, in our country, media is used as a psyop. Think about this. Children are just graduating from high school and
You
getting their
can't say
results. Let
whether
me
there's truth
finish.
or not to
Let
it,
me
though. I
finish,
don't
right?
agree with that.
Children are just graduating and getting their results from high school and their A levels after uni, after college, and they're about to go into university. How our country operates in terms of generating propaganda, a situation like putting Professor Arde in the news for plagiarism and being whoever he is in academia, it affects those children that are getting their results in this period of time who may be looking to go
Then
into
he
academia.
was wrong. You can say he was
No,
wrong
it's
for
not
lying
about him.
and doing that.
It's not even about him. That's what I'm explaining to you. It wouldn't
This
matter
is
if
what I'm
it
trying to
wouldn't
tell
matter
you,
if it was
though.
Arde or
I
John or
don't
Joanne, right? How our
listen. You're
country
saying that they're
functions.
ruining it, but
No,
you're not seeing what he
how
did
our
wrong.
country
That's wrong.
functions. It doesn't. Listen, you're unable to look past the
You're no, no,
obvious,
no. But
right?
listen, you just
Oh my
said,
gosh,
they're ruining it.
who's there?
You just said the media are ruining it, and
It's done to deter children, little black kids that look like me and you. It's not done for that guy. It's psychological warfare. That's what I'm saying to you. It wouldn't matter if it was Arde, John, Joanne, whoever. It's a timing thing. The issue is brought to the public forefront, right? In
we need to
governance,
look at.
in
It's
governance, there's a
important though
strategy
to look
called
at if it has
containment,
merit.
right? Yes, you are not looking past the obvious, right? It doesn't matter what he did or didn't do. This is what I'm explaining to you. In
It
governance, there
does.
is a
If you're
strategy.
saying
Oh
it
my gosh.
affects,
You're
it does.
doomed.
If you're
You're
saying
fucking
it
doomed.
affects black boys in the future, it does.
It
If you're
affects all
saying
black kids.
because of what he did, though,
No, it's not.
because of
It's
what he
not
did.
him. This is what I'm explaining to you. It wouldn't matter if it
But
was him
why are
or
you not
not.
blaming him for his mistakes?
Because it's not about him. It's about the media frenzy and building this view in your mind about academia and black people.
Look
So,
at the media frenzy
right,
on many things.
Faceless
They have
Goat,
me-
Faceless
they
Goat,
have
please
media
listen,
frenzies
right?
when it comes to many
2 to
things.
3 months ago, one of the biggest
Israel,
highlights.
Palestine.
2 to 3 months ago, one of the biggest highlights in our news was that young white boys are failing in school, right? This is how our country operates. So to balance that level of propaganda on what that says about the country, what do? We break down a black academic while little black kids are getting their
think you're
results,
interpreting
right?
it wrong.
You're
I think
not
you're
looking
interpreting it
past the
wrong.
obvious. That's your problem. You're stuck on the simplistic part and not thinking about the long-term strategy. It's a governance
If somebody
strategy. It's
did
called
wrong,
containment.
if somebody did wrong and they were exposed for it,
Right.
you cannot now
So
blame the
people,
media
so
for
people
exposing
who,
what he did.
the people who need to know, take your time, go ask Google Gemini, go look on Google Scholar about governance strategies called containment, and what was revealed through COINTELPRO, the CIA, and their cooperation with the Russian state during communism. Containment is one of the strategies of mastering propaganda. What I'm trying to explain to you, it wouldn't matter if Ade was guilty or not guilty. Our
does matter,
our
though.
media
That's what I'm
only
trying to
highlights
say.
things for a larger agenda. That's what I'm explaining to
The
you.
only reason why they had merit to even highlight anything
Oh my
is because
gosh.
he plagiarized and then lied about so
Yes.
much other stuff.
Don't
This
you
was
know?
wrong.
Don't you know that there are a bunch of other people who are black who are plagiarists as well? There are a bunch of other
is-
people who are white and are plagiarists as
Are
well, right?
Yeah, we know
Yes,
this. We know
exactly. So
this.
then now you ask yourself, right?
But
Now that
he
the
didn't
guy's
just
dead,
plagiarize
now that the
stuff.
guy's
He said
dead,
that he ran a marathon.
I don't
He
care
said
about all that. That's
he
gossip
did
to me. That's
600
gossip. I don't care.
600
I don't care. That's
miles
gossip.
in 6 days.
It's gossip.
He
It's
said
gossip.
so much that
It's
is like,
gossip. That's petty,
it's
right?
a joke. That
It's
the fact that he
gossip.
said these things.
Now ask yourself, for all of the black professors that exist, and just think about it. Just this year,
I've had black professors.
University of Birmingham just dropped their Black Studies class, and it was a big issue that's been swept under the carpet,
because
right?
no one was taking the class.
No, there's more to that. It's
Did you
about the
read it?
management. Yes, I did. I spoke to people who are doing the course on about to do their PhDs, right? I know the doctor who's working it. I don't know him personally, but I know of him, all right? So I am aware, right? But what you said is a complete distraction anyways, right?
What I'm saying is, if he did wrong, none of this would be on the news.
It's not
Like,
about
if
him.
If he was
right?
right,
So
none of
him,
it would be on the
no,
news. They wouldn't have anything to say
Faceless,
about him.
listen, right? Now that he's dead, do you not realise how many different interviews has been released of him being on the same news platforms? Have you not clocked that?
Have I not clocked what?
How many other black professors in the country have been on these big news platforms like Newsnight, BBC, etc. prior to an event like this? In the British
why was he
public,
put in those
one of
positions?
our favorite things to do in media is to
Why was he
build
put in
someone
that
up.
position?
Is to build someone up to break them down. So our day situation
him in
was
that seat.
always a psyop. His whole life probably was a psyop. Now the fact that he's not strong enough to be here, or maybe the fact that he's strong enough to leave, speaks to what happened in his personal life. But on a countrywide level, this is how we operate through media and psyops. We create people to break people, whether it's someone on the reform side, the
I
conservative side,
disagree
the
with
Labour
that.
side, because you don't know enough about the fucking country. This is the problem.
No,
But you don't
it's because
read.
I'm not going with your stupid agenda. That's why you're saying.
Right, so
that.
describe my agenda.
At the end of the day, if I committed plagiarism and lied about a bunch of stuff, and then the media exposed me for it, and
Right.
I can't take the heat, that's me not being able
So
to take the heat.
describe my agenda now.
Your agenda is, oh, the media is wrong. Even if he's wrong or right, the media should have never reported on it. That's what you're saying. Oh,
So
they was trying
is-
to tear him down.
To
Nobody
anyone
tore
listening,
him down
right? To
but
anyone
himself.
listening, is that a straw man, or is that
No
what I
one tore
actually
him
said?
down but himself. The fact that he lied about like his correct
Is
credentials,
that a straw
and then
man, or
lied
is
a
that
bit
what I
more about
actually
other
said?
stuff that he never did, like all these other accolades.
Right. So
And
again,
the media
I'll ask you
exposed
again.
me.
I'll ask you again. Describe my agenda now. Not a straw man. The agenda
I'm
that
not-
you accuse me of having. Describe it.
You're saying it's racism, but what I'm trying to say, it is not racism. If
I didn't say
they're-
anything
if they're
about
exposing
racism.
something that had a merit.
Didn't
If
say
they
anything
expose
about
something that had
racism.
merit, there is nothing wrong with the reporting on it.
I didn't say anything about racism, right? You're not listening. That's the problem. You're incapable of engaging past the obvious.
I am listening to you. What did I say what did I say that you didn't say?
I
What
didn't
did you
say
say? Go on,
anything you said.
clarify it for
I didn't
us.
say anything you
Clarify.
said. I described to you how an idea of
Wait. You didn't say that it doesn't matter if he's right or wrong. Did you say that? Yes or no?
no. I said it doesn't matter
Yes, you
what he
did say
did.
that.
It doesn't matter who it was.
Exactly. You
Right?
said it doesn't matter who
It's
it
not
was
about
or if he did right or
did the
wrong or none
words
of that.
did the words right or
That's
wrong
what
come
you
out my
said.
mouth? Right or
You
wrong
said
is
it
a
doesn't.
moral stance.
Yes, you did.
I
Yes,
didn't
you did
say
right
that.
or wrong.
I didn't
Yes,
say
you did.
that. Oh my
Okay, now
god.
we're
It's on
denying what you
YouTube.
said.
You can rewind
It
it.
will be on YouTube.
It's already there.
Go on.
I'm
Go
live on
go
various
on.
platforms, right? I
Go on.
didn't say anything
Amazing.
about right or wrong, right? I
You
said it
did.
doesn't
I'm
matter
sorry
who
to.
it is, right? It could be John, it could be Jane, right? I didn't say anything about right or wrong. You're just
Sorry.
unable to
Yes, you
track.
did. Yes, you
You're
did. You
unable
said
to
it doesn't
track.
matter if he did right or wrong, and it doesn't matter
All
who
right.
it is. That's what you
So
said.
now think about it like this, right? If what I'm saying has merit to it, how our country works from a media standpoint, we create people to break people, right? What does it speak to about the timing in which we whip up the story about our day and our political climate currently?
Listen, if Ade did what he did was wrong, yeah, then him
Why are
being
you
created
stuck on
in the
him
first place was
and not
wrong.
what's actually you can't engage with the substance, can you?
We're talking
You're,
about this
you're
topic
actually
because you
baffled.
asked me about
You're
that guy.
actually
You
baffled.
asked me
You
about
cannot
him.
engage with the
Did you not
substance.
ask me about him?
You're
Yes or
baffled.
no?
You're baffled, right?
Was the whole topic not on
Right.
him? Was the first
It's
thing you asked
not
me not
it's
about him?
not about what he
Brother,
did
stop denying it.
specifically. We're talking about
Stop
how
denying
the
it.
country operates, right? I've already explained to you.
Now you're switching it to
In
the country.
governance,
Now you're switching it to the country.
yes, in governance, right? Containment is
so
one
what's
of the
okay? Stop.
strategies, right?
Let's
If a
clarify.
bunch
Let's
of little
clarify.
black kids
Did you
are
or did
getting
you
their
not ask me
results
about
at this
Ade?
time of the year, and then the media whip up a frenzy around academia,
Excuse
it's
me,
done
did
for a
we-
reason.
You can't say stop
Now,
talking
a
about this
couple
man when
months
you
ago,
question me on
the
him.
media whipped up a frenzy about young white boys failing in academia, right? Our country knows what it's doing when it's doing it. The sources you're getting your media from are primarily owned by someone called Rupert Murdoch, who's primarily pushing a right-leaning agenda. There's a lot of data to go through and pass to even have an opinion, a decent opinion, okay?
Listen. What we're talking about is Ade, okay?
What you're
That's what we're
talking about is
and
our
the
day
media-
because
and
you're
the
slow.
media- And the media participation.
You're talking about gossip. You're not concerned about
That's what we're
anything
talking
interesting.
about. You keep doing a
All right, so
flip-flop.
let's step back
You're
a
the
couple of
one who
steps
said it
before
doesn't
you
matter
drop
what he
down.
did.
Right, before you drop down, you made the claim that you were pro-black, and then some guy said he doesn't care about white people's mental health, and then you stopped being pro-black. So
No,
explain
I said-
yourself, right? Where
Listen,
did
you
your
keep trying to listen
where
to-
did your
you keep-
pro-black background come from? What did you read? What were
keep
your
trying
sources?
to,
What do you actually
whip
know?
up your own little agendas,
Please-
yeah?
please
But
explain,
everyone on
right?
YouTube will understand what I said.
It doesn't matter.
I said
It
I
really
saw
doesn't
what he
matter,
was.
right?
I saw what he was,
So?
and I didn't want to be like that.
All
I
right,
wanted
so
to be a
I ask you
person
again,
that
right?
considers everyone,
What
especially when we're
what are
talking
your
about
what are your
a topic
pro-black
such as
foundations? right?
unaliving.
Are you like
So, stop. Like,
are you
stop
a
trying to
Pan-Africanist,
misunderstand me, bro, and
right?
stop
Are
trying
you
to
like a
misinterpret
black
what I
nationalist?
say.
What are your pro-black
I'm none of
understandings?
that.
I
am none
assume
of that
so
anymore.
because you don't know what
As
you're
I
talking
said-
about.
As I said,
I
I'm
know
not
you
trying
don't know
to
what you're
be-
talking about. It's
I am
quite
a
obvious.
humanitarian.
It's quite obvious.
I care about everybody.
Being pro-black and
yes.
being humanitarian aren't mutually exclusive. You could be both, right? So
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
I'm gonna be a humanitarian.
And to
which
be
cares for
fair,
everybody.
you're not even a humanist because you're religious, right? So,
What is stupidity
it's like,
are
so
you talking about?
your politics is bad, your religious views are bad, and your views on this issue are bad. So it just sounds like you're misinformed and reactionary.
Because I have a
That's
faith,
all
I
it
can't
sounds
care about
like.
human beings.
You are just a reactionary. You were never pro-black.
Because I have a faith, I can't
You were
care
never
about human
pro-black
beings.
because
That's
you're
what you just
misinformed,
said.
right? So cite
Did you just say,
cite
because
your
I have a faith,
favorite
I
black
can't care for
historian.
human beings?
Cite your favorite black historian.
I don't have to prove myself to you, my friend.
Exactly, because you're
I don't
misinformed.
have
You're
to
just
prove
a
anything to you.
reactionary. You're
I don't
just
have
a
to prove
reactionary
anything to
in
you. I don't have
cosplay,
to prove
right? That's
anything to
it.
you.
That's
I don't
all it
have to prove
is, right?
anything to you. You're the same person
Alright.
trying to say I can't have a faith and care for humans.
No, because you said you don't want to be in a cult and associated the cult with blackness.
I
And then I read the definition of cult for you. And you was like, I dropped down like my battery died,
No.
right? So I'll read the definition of cult again. A relatively
God, my
small
battery
group
died.
of
I have
people
no
having
reason to
beliefs
lie. I
or
came right
practices,
back. I
especially
literally
related
had
to
to swipe.
religion, they are
not even funny,
that
I
are
had to
regarded
swipe.
by others as strange
back
or
in.
sinister or imposing excessive control over members, right? don't forget. It's like you can rewind it. It's on the Culture Crack YouTube channel. Okay.
Talking about the media.
So now let's slow down,
Talking about
right?
the media is now
Right.
telling me the definition.
So now I'll ask you for some clarity, right?
Just because
in
you're
your
in a
personal
religion,
life,
just because you're in a religion,
in your
doesn't mean
personal
you're in a
life,
cult, okay? Even if you identify
are
as
you
that.
race first or are you class first in your personal life, right? That's
I'm
all
none
we should
of
talk
it. I
about.
am none of it. I am none of
So
it.
listen, I
When
mean,
I
you're
die,
just a
my race
misinformed
won't matter.
reactionary.
When I die,
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh
my gosh!
Nor will my
Yeah, of
class,
course it
nor will
won't.
my
Of
race.
course it
None
won't
of that
matter.
won't matter
Of
when
course
I
it
die.
won't, because
so
you
why
will
would
be
I say
dust.
this matters?
Right? Of course it won't. But
Why
like the
would I
people
say
you
this
leave
matters?
behind, it will matter. Right? This is
What
the
I care
problem.
about
Right?
is
So,
humans.
so just like listen to this
And when
internal
I
critique,
joined the
right?
live, as for
Just
clarification,
just
guys,
listen,
when I
right?
first joined the live, no,
Please
let me
calm
speak first.
calm down,
When I
calm
first
down, calm
joined the
down.
live,
Right?
allow me to speak, please.
Go on,
When I
sure.
first joined the live, guys, I answered the question. I said race is something that doesn't change, whereas class changes. Did I say that, yes or no?
Yeah, that's true. But I didn't answer the question whether
Exactly.
you're class
So
first or
I
race
answered,
first.
yeah, I answered if technically it was be race first because people can't see you like your class, but they can see your race all the time, no matter what
All right,
class you're
that's
in.
fine, right? So let's not go
I
back into the
said
past
this.
now. So from this point, I just
So-
wanna give an internal critique based on what you just said about not caring because you're gonna die. One of the biggest problems
Yeah, when
with
I
people.
die, God won't care about
Right,
what
so
race.
one of the
He's gonna
biggest
care
problems.
about how I treat
Oh my
people based
God!
on my
Can you
race.
just be quiet? I don't want to mute you. I'm gonna unmute you, but I just like just so we can get some order here, right? Unmute yourself, please.
Let
Right?
me just say, God won't care about my race because he's
Yes,
gonna care
that's
about.
great.
He's gonna
Faceless,
care about how I
stop,
used my
stop
race.
operating
treat
in
other
this way,
people.
Faceless. You know
And how
you're
I use my
capable.
class
You know you are
to treat other
capable of
people.
having a constructive conversation. So let's have the conversation.
Don't try to
One of the
misinterpret
biggest problems. One of the biggest problems with people who have views on politics and culture, but they are also heavily structured in religion, is that they have these views, which is called eschatology, right? Views about the end of life, right? Basically afterlife. They have these views that it really doesn't matter because at the end this is going to happen after life. So what that puts them in the position of is not really having enough concern about the life or the life that we're living
That's where
now,
you're wrong.
and
You're
more concerned
uneducated
about
about
the
that.
hereafter.
That's uneducation.
No,
'Cause
I
just
know
said,
what I'm
if you
saying, and I'm
listen to
getting
me,
to it. If
I
you
just
listen,
said, God is gonna
you
care about
didn't
how
give
I
me
treat
30
people based
seconds.
on
You didn't even give me
based on what
30
race you had and all
seconds.
of this.
You didn't even
Because
give me
you're trying
30
to- You're
seconds.
just trying to misspew
It's-
information. I'm allowed to
This,
push back on what you're
what
saying.
I've said
if it's a
isn't
lie.
misinformation, right?
You
It's a
just said
critique.
something about it is.
It's
It
a
is.
critique.
It's a misinformation.
It's an
It is
internal
misinformation.
critique, right?
Stop.
Just track.
Stop.
Oh
I
my
just
gosh.
I just
Oh
said
my
God is going
gosh.
to care about how I treat human beings.
Yes.
Based
That's
on-
the same eschatological
that.
view, right?
But
That's
you're-
I
but you're acting like-
encapsulated
you just
that.
said-
Right?
You just said,
What
"Oh,
are you
she's not going
talking-
to care about humans." That's what you just said, though. You just said she's
Right,
not
so
going to care.
I'm talking about
because
in
of my
general.
religion.
I'm talking
So
in
you're
general.
contradicting.
I'm talking in general, right? So people who hold strong views about the afterlife struggle with their politics and their understanding in the now.
I don't
right?
struggle with anything. You're not
Yes.
understanding me.
So when I say people, you don't have to take it personally, right? It's a critique, right? Just relax, all right? So when you find yourself in a situation where you can say, oh, I don't care about race, I don't care about class, I'm going to die anyway and I'm going to go to heaven and God's going to care, right? What you've done is dismiss the reality of the people that you currently live amongst and the people who will be here after you die in favor of some a temporary copium of what might be when you die. That's faith, but it has nothing to do with reality, what we should be focusing on, making the world actually better. Does that make sense?
Me having a faith that does make the world a better place because
Yeah.
I hold myself responsible at all times.
Yeah, if you're
for my
functional,
actions,
if you're a functional
for my actions, and
person,
I
but
treat
if you're
human beings
dysfunctional and have
how
a
I wanna
faith,
be
what's the
treated.
point? Right?
I treat human beings with utmost respect because I know God is watching me. I don't try and steal from anybody or anything.
Oh,
I
that's
know
petty.
100% God is watching
That's all
me.
like
and
that's petty,
and
like
he's gonna hold
surface
me
stuff.
to account. And he's gonna hold me to account. So you
Faceless,
saying that
surely,
someone having a
faithless.
Let me speak.
Faceless, sorry.
Let me speak. I shut up. So let me speak. You saying someone having a faith makes them not care about society and
No,
makes
it's just
them care
a
about
risk.
the afterlife so much. It's actually stupid.
No, I'm not saying they are saying that, right? It's a risk based on their views, right? It's like when you see if you hold a certain opinion or a view about something, people can come and stress test that and bring it all the way to its logical extremes, right? It's called a reductio ad absurdum, right? So when someone expresses a view like what you expressed, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna die and I'm gonna kind of go to heaven, kind of thing, right? the reductio of that is like, yes, you don't care about what happens on Earth because you think all that you're
No,
doing
that is
is
where you're
for
wrong.
this.
I care about
That's
what
the
happens on
extreme.
Earth.
It's an
You are,
internal
look, see,
critique.
look, see how you're
It's not something you
misunderstanding
have
me
to
and
take personally.
misinterpreting me.
Right? It's
Stop,
not.
stop, no, 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 stop,
It's
stop.
not about
You're saying
you.
things
This is the
about me.
thing. It's not about
You
you.
just said me though. You just
Yes,
said you.
because you
And we
expressed
were having
the
a discussion.
ideology. You expressed the ideology, right? So,
No,
for
no,
instance,
listen,
right?
this is where you're wrong
Faceless,
about
right?
it.
See, I wouldn't look at you
Bro,
as a
you're
Muslim woman.
misinterpreting
No,
what I said,
faceless.
and you just
Listen,
want me
right?
to be
Because
quiet.
it's
No,
important.
you be quiet,
I
bro. Let
wouldn't
me
look at
correct
you as a Muslim woman and say, oh, faceless is a
Bro,
Muslim
let
woman
me
who's the
speak.
same as a
Because you're
jihadist, right?
misinterpreting what I said
I
and
wouldn't
trying to
do
put
that.
words in my mouth, and I
No,
never
it's
said
not
any of
about
that.
you. It's
And
not
you want me to
about
just be
you.
quiet.
It's not about you. You got to listen,
Listen,
right?
you just quoted something that I
All
said
right,
and
so
then said,
all
oh,
right, so
that's because of this.
I'll give
No,
you
no,
a chance
no,
to
shut
defend
up and
yourself.
let me
Defend
answer.
yourself. Sure, go for it.
Yeah, I should. You said I don't
defend
care
yourself.
about humans because I said I don't care about race or class. Bro, the only race, the only
Not you
thing I care
personally.
about when it comes to race, let me speak.
It's not you personally.
Let me speak.
It's a
I care
generalized
about
you.
humans, and I'm black, so obviously I experience racism. I care about what's going on in this world. Every injustice in this world, I care about it. Why the hell wouldn't I? As a Muslim, you have to speak up about injustices when you see it. It's actually a duty on a Muslim to speak up about injustice, any injustice
Right.
that they
So
see.
in order to
Or
do
if
that,
they can't speak up about it, to pray about it.
in order to do
One
that,
thing. Let me speak.
they have to be informed. And
Let me
if you're
speak.
not informed, you
I
can't
am
speak up
informed.
about injustice.
You are the one who's assuming I'm not informed.
Everything
because I'm
you've
not a
said
yes
has
man.
highlighted
Because I'm not a
that.
yes man, and I don't agree with everything you're saying.
I don't
so
have
therefore
yes
I'm not informed
men.
in your
Right?
particular opinion.
No, think about this
Yeah,
whole conversation. Right? Where
Yeah,
have we
you're the
gone?
one who's you've
Where
been
have been
trying
the
to misinterpret
significant
me
points
all
in this
day.
whole conversation?
You've been trying to misinterpret me all day.
It's not
You've
even been an
disrespected
hour.
me. You haven't said
It's not
anything
even been an
disrespectful
hour.
to me.
Like, you're just dramatizing it. It's not been an hour. Don't
No,
catastrophize.
like,
It's not that deep,
let's
right?
be honest. You've literally misinterpreted everything I said. Talking about,
No.
oh, she doesn't care about this world.
I've
She
been
doesn't care about
charitable.
race.
I've been charitable
No,
because I could really straw man the shit out of everything you said, but I'm not.
no, but let's be honest though. Let's be honest.
I am.
And let's be fair. I never said
I
I don't care
am.
about this world. I never said I don't care about what's going on. I never said I don't care about race and all of this. Like, of course, I'm a black person. I've even said, we've even had a discussion on systematic racism and how that affects black people. We've talked about many things. Why are you acting as
Hardly.
if I'm ignorant to shit?
We hardly got
Maybe
anywhere,
you think
to be
I'm
honest.
ignorant because I am talking about the Ade case in a way that you don't agree.
No, it's not that I don't
And
disagree
maybe
with
because I'm
it's-
highlighting
No,
the
no,
fact
no.
that maybe those
What you're
newspapers
saying
did have
is
merit,
correct.
and you're upset about that.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't
And it's
look past
true.
the obvious. There is validity in what you're saying about the claims he may have made, the plagiarism. There's validity in all of that. But I'm trying to explain to you from an establishment point of view why our country does the things it does and what are the implications and impacts of those things. It's not, to me, what you're stating is trivial. It wouldn't matter who it was. That's what I keep saying to you. The minutiae is trivial.
We understand the media has vilified the black people. This is not something that is like not unknown. But what I'm trying to say is there was merit to reporting what was reported. Do you understand?
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about, right?
Maybe not to the extent that they reported it. I think there was over 200 articles that were done.
Look, it wouldn't even make.
That is
Look,
excessive.
you could
But
just imagine if he never saw any of those articles, but just scrolled through TikTok alone. Right, I saw someone like me and you just talking shit. That's probably what did it. Not necessarily the fucking media. His actual people that are normal people. That's probably what did it. But you got to understand, there's levels to what's actually playing out here. It's not just as simple as like a guy was lying and we caught him. Like, that's just petty gossip shit. The world is more serious than that.
I don't understand your argument right now.
There-
Are you saying something you?
There is no
I didn't
argument.
say?
The
Are you
question
saying something I
the
didn't
question
say?
comes down to, are you race
you
first
just
or class
refrained.
first? That's all it comes down to.
I'm none of them.
All right, so walk me through your reasoning.
As I said, class, you can change classes it depends on your opportunity. You can change classes. Race, you cannot change. But again, I care about human beings, bro.
You're
I'm
a human
not-
being.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I care
a
about
rich
human
person,
beings. For
like the
example,
1%
if there
is a
was
human
black
being,
homeless man today,
and like the
and there was a
bottom
white
1%
homeless man
is human
today,
being too.
if there was a white homeless man today and a black homeless man today, and I had a £1, I would make it 50p and give them both each.
That's cute. That's pretty. I like the way you think, but it doesn't mean anything to what the question
hey,
was.
I'm gonna give my pound to the white guy. To the black guy, and not give it to the white guy.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that.
I see two poor people that are disadvantaged,
So-
and I don't care
So
about
faceless.
someone's race.
I'll ask
when
you
it comes to
again,
something
right?
like
What are
that.
you arguing about?
Are you class first or are you race first?
As I said, I just answered. I'm none of them first.
Why?
When I die, God is gonna question me. How did you use your race on people? And how did you use your money? That's what he's gonna
that's
ask
your
me. And I'm
belief,
not gonna be like,
but that's
"Oh,
not nothing.
I
That has
put
nothing
other
to do
people
with the
first because
question.
They're black. I'm not gonna say that.
That's your
I'm not gonna say
belief,
that. I'm gonna say,
but
I
that has
treat
nothing
everyone
to
with
do with the
respect,
question.
and I treat everyone
You're
equally.
avoiding the question.
That I literally answered
Right,
your
so-
question just
Faceless,
now.
treating everyone with respect is class first.
No, it's not,
It literally is.
bro. It's being a human being. I'm sorry that
Yeah,
you think it's class.
That's class.
It's called being a human
class.
being.
Why is class a bad thing?
It's called being a human being. Since when did we say respect is a class thing? It's a
Well-
human thing, bro. What are you talking about?
Respectability
That's
politics
happening.
is a class thing.
Really?
Yes.
You tell me, how is respect a class thing?
Respectability politics is a class thing.
Whether
right?
you
Kinda-
respect somebody or not,
kind of
is that depending
what
on
you've
the class
been
they're in,
projecting
or
through
is that
the whole
depending on your
conversation.
character?
All right, so
Is that depending on your character or your class?
Faceless, do you understand the concept of respectability politics?
I don't care about no respectability politics and I'm talking about respect. Respect.
That's
I
part
give
of the
respect to everyone
conversation.
who respects me.
So you could say you don't understand, and it's okay, and I'll explain it for you.
I give respect to people
I
that
don't
respect
understand.
me.
Explain it, please.
All right, so
Wait, which
a
definition
view,
of class are you
a view
using?
of respectability politics would be like, all right, so the media portrays black people as like pants sagging, like do-rag wearing, bonnet wearing, loud music playing, right? And a class, which is what it's speaking to, class, right? A class which would be called the black bourgeoisie or the black brulee in America would say, oh, all those groups of black people, they just need to fix up their attitudes and do better, pull themselves up by their bootstraps, stop dressing like this, stop speaking like that, stop doing these things, and everything will be fine, right? That's respectability politics, right?
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with what we were just talking about.
So if you know
I
if you
said
know
I
what
respect everybody,
respectability,
and then he said that's a class thing.
right?
That's
but
what he said. So that
it's
has
a part
nothing
of
to
it.
do with what you just
It's a
said.
part of it. It's a part of it, right? Because you're
No,
you're jumping
what
over
you
the
mentioned,
realities.
What you mentioned and respect are two different things.
Anyways, you can move on with the conversation. I thought I'd just explain that.
No,
So now you can
can we
carry on.
clarify that?
It's
You can
class,
carry
no?
on.
What you mentioned and actually having respect and respect in general is not the same thing as you mentioned.
All right, cool. So you guys,
Yes or
the
no?
points that you want to, I said cool, yeah. The points that you want to raise, continue with the
Exactly.
conversation.
So therefore, it's a human thing.
We are all humans. We are all
no.
operated from
Well, this game is
anthropocentrism, bro. We are all humans. So I don't get what you're saying. It's goofy.
You don't get what I'm saying? He just said that respect is a class thing. And I said, no,
No,
respect is
he's trying
something
to-
that you give somebody. It's like whether
Yeah.
you want to respect someone or not. That's a personal choice.
I understand your
It's
view.
conduct.
Don't get me wrong, right? But just continue. Whoever asked that
We're
question,
not about to say it's a class thing.
just continue with your line of reasoning.
Mannerisms.
Whoever asked that question, please continue.
There's nothing to continue. I answered the question. You asked me, do you choose race or class? I said none of them. Because when I
Right.
die, God's going to ask me, how did you use your race? Did you use it to divide people or did you use it to do good? How did you use your money? Did you use it in a good way or a
What?
bad way? And that's something I have
That's-
to ask
they're
you
your-
when
they're
I
your
die.
beliefs.
The question is,
So
what's
that's why I
important?
said
What's
none.
more
I
important,
answered.
race or class? And if you look at it, like
He never said what's
Like-
more important. He
It says it on the
you-
screen. Oh my god.
yeah, on the screen, to be fair, it says what is the more important, Abro? And this, I think
I
the
already
stats
answered that
are-
question then.
the
I already
stats-
answered that.
Okay, what was your answer to that?
I said that race is something you cannot change, but class is something you can change. So race you can
So
never
what is more
avoid.
important? So what
It's
is
not,
no?
it's
In
not,
terms,
I don't like the word important. It's something. At the end of the day, race is important in this world. It is important.
so what
in
is
this
more
world.
important?
But what do you
She
mean by
got herself up,
important?
man. She got herself in some
Answer the
shit.
okay, let's say,
But what do you
let's
mean by
say,
important?
let's say how it will affect your
No,
life.
let's
like.
ask the host. What does he mean by
Okay,
important?
okay, go.
All right, what's the definition of important?
No, what do you mean by it when you ask that question?
So,
it's not the definition.
The wording of what's on the screen might be a bit shitty, right? But the way I'm asking the question is, in terms of your life ideology, how you think about how you do what you do, what comes first in your mind when you're making decisions or choosing to do something or not to do something? Is it class or
It
is it
depends what it
race?
is.
Of course, right?
It's
It
class.
depends
It's
what it is,
obviously
right?
class.
For you,
It depends what
Obviously,
it is. If it's traveling, I'm gonna look up countries that like black people. That's honest, right? I think a lot of black people do that.
all right, cool. All
Like
right.
we
If
look
you're
up countries
traveling,
I
we
feel like
that
I
are
feel
black
like
people
I feel
friendly.
like you if you care so much about race and trying to stay with black people, then I
No,
feel
that's
like
something you
that
can't
being your whole
avoid.
identity. Okay, no, I
That's
never said it
something you
isn't.
can't avoid.
Right,
Host,
right. I
host.
never said it wasn't. I never said it wasn't. But that being your whole identity, I feel like
Bro,
it's
is
just
your
bland, bro.
identity. What are you talking
It's
about? Are you
bland.
an
It's
idiot?
bland.
All right,
I
so
feel
Are you
like
an idiot?
so
why are
yes,
you calling me
there's some
Indian?
truth.
I feel
No,
like
there's
I'm
some
saying
you're
truth.
that's
proving
your
your whole
There
identity.
there
You
is
can't get
some
away
truth to
from it.
that. There is
being
some
black.
truth to that. Just
You
slow
can't get away
down.
from that. It's your
Bro,
identity.
faceless,
Like
why
I
are
could
you
be
so
from
angry,
England.
faceless? Just relax.
Yeah,
He's not even
Like,
saying
what are you
anything.
saying?
Like
What are you
Water,
he's not
bro.
saying?
saying
She was
anything
raging.
yet. You just
What is he saying?
you're
Trying to
wilding
right? Oh,
out.
race is really important, bro. It's
Faceless.
something you
Listen,
can't
He's
avoid.
not even
You
talking to
really
you. He's
understand?
just talking to the prompt. Jesus Christ.
No, he
Bro.
was
Like
talking to me.
no, he's talking to the prompt. Right?
No, he was talking to me.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, relax,
Oh my
dog.
gosh.
Relax.
But he was talking to me.
All right,
I just
faceless.
answered something about race, and then he
Faceless.
said,
Let's just
is
take a
that how you
breather.
identify?"
Let's just take a breather.
No, I just don't like people misinterpreting me and trying to misunderstand what I said.
It's
All
No,
right,
okay,
cool, cool,
right?
cool,
It's
cool.
okay. More
So
words
she
makes it
said
worse.
she'll prefer to go to African countries because she's black, right?
I
Is that
never
what you
said
said,
that.
correct?
You see again? Did I say that,
Okay,
host?
so I asked you a question, and then if
Did
it's
I
wrong,
say
then
that, host?
correct me. Correct me.
No, I
Okay,
did not
correct me.
say that. Let me tell you what
Correct
I
me.
said.
Okay, correct me.
Let
Go
me tell
on.
you what I said.
Go
You
on.
guys said race
Go on.
or class. I said, I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to something like race, you cannot avoid it. You are who you are, and
So that
that's
so
something you
that
can't
would mean
change,
racist
right?
first then.
We
It
agreed with
doesn't
that.
matter. No, no,
We,
no. Okay, cool.
and
That's
let
not
me
the point. You
clarify
can't
what I
avoid
said.
your class as
Stop!
well
I
in
haven't
certain
even
cases.
finished, bro. I haven't even finished what I said. Like, what the
Okay,
hell?
go on, man.
So that was the
Okay,
first
go
thing.
on,
Then
man.
we talked, and then I said, for
Nah, nah,
example,
nah.
yeah, I
Average
said,
Muslim women are not like this. Relax,
be
relax. Stop
quiet, please.
generalizing.
Like, then I said, oh, if it was, for example, if I
Bro
was gonna
said
look up a country, I was gonna
faceless
look
is
up a
a
country,
exception.
I would look up a black friendly country, like if it's black friendly. And then you said, oh, is that your identity? And then I said, yeah, that is your identity at the
No,
end of
no,
the
no.
day.
He never
That's what
said
we were
that. He
talking
said
about.
making
He
blackness your
did.
whole identity is like bad, right?
Yeah,
And
I said you
I
can't
said
really
there's
get away from that
there's some
because
truth to
you are
that,
black.
right? No, but
Yeah,
all
you
right.
can't get away
So
from that.
let's rewind back, right? Remember when I said to you like where what is your pro-black background? And I asked you, are you like a black nationalist? Are you a Pan-African? Right? That was what it was speaking to. What are the politics? What is the ideology behind your pro-blackness? Because it's not just one
I
thing.
can't lie, I
Okay.
would say I'm Pan-African,
Right. So
but
so
I,
so
I
there you
don't
I feel
know
go.
like a
about
lot of
pro-black.
nationalists they have nothing to prove for themselves, so they have to refer to their country as this great thing that they and then they should
No,
hold
Pan-African is
like
not
applaud
referring to your country. It's actually
their
wanting
ethnicity
unity
as
in
achievement they have done
sub-Saharan countries.
themselves. So I
wait,
feel
wait,
like,
bro,
can I talk?
bro,
We just spoke the
bro.
whole
Say
time.
say the
We just
first bit you
spoke.
said again. Say the first bit you said again.
People that are so obsessed with nationalism and their ethnicity, whatever, they have like something like they're lacking like a significance or any like
Who's obsessed with their
achievement in their life.
nationalism?
Faceless,
So
bro. Don't be like that, bro. Let the man speak. You kind of pissing
they
me off
lack
now.
they
Clarify.
lack achievement in
He's
their
not
life,
speaking
so
to
they
you.
refer to their ethnicity and then their national. So like
I think he's trying to
for
imply that.
example, so for people, for example, from England, right?
You're a
Some of
wild
them
out,
like the
man.
EDL members. They're so in love with this fact of like England being great, the Great Britain, but they've never been in that era, right? So they'll
Bro, but what are
say
you talking
they try to
about, bro? What are
But
you talking about?
there's
You talking about
a nation that they
Pan-Africanism or
never
something
they
Hold
ne-
else?
on, bro.
you
they'll
lot are
glorify a
chaos.
nation that they've
You
never
lot are
been
fucking
around to see
chaos.
even or been a part of. So I feel like they're lacking in significance or achievement in their life. So they have to refer to a time
This guy is
when
confused.
that nation.
All right, so
You don't even know what you're saying. Shut up,
you're
man.
you're kind
You're
of right,
confused,
but
bro.
you're half wrong at the same time, right? So black
Go on,
nationalism
bro.
and white nationalism doesn't necessarily have anything to do with a nation state like a country. It's more about making the race itself the
Yeah,
state.
it's racist.
Right? So nationalism, like right, one could even argue that the Nazis, I think that even the translation of it is like nationalist or something like that in German or national socialist or whatever, however they describe it, right? But you can
It
have
wasn't really nationalist though, was they? Because
well, yeah,
they
it
didn't
was.
like the Jays that were German. So
Yeah, but that's like you've got a point there. That's a very good point, right? But ideally, what their thing is about purifying the race, but in for the pride of Germany. Just like you got your defunct EDL people or Make Britain Great Again people, their thing is most of it is racism, but they're operating from the point of view of the country, the flag, the landmass itself, not necessarily just the color. Right? So like white nationalism looks more like a KKK kind of thing, not necessarily a Nazi kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what is the question like referring to? Important as in how it affects a person's life, or important as in like what?
Just across the board.
Yeah, that's why we asked. What is important
Okay,
to
cool.
you? What do you mean by that?
Okay, relax,
Across the board.
faceless.
No, but
Yo,
what
just
does the host mean
fries
by
for
this?
fries for 1 second, please. So if we're talking about like how it affects a person's life, class mogs, because poverty, I'm pretty sure poverty is the leading factor to whether a person will commit crime. Like nutrition, like how a person develops, like class, like being able to be wealthy and getting the resources and IQ and just like how it affects a person's life. Classes obviously.
So,
Race,
so how would
cool,
you
your genetic.
how would you define
It's
class?
kind of like genetic. So class, like you're talking about middle class. Is that am I wrong?
Yeah, like that is ironically like a classical view, like lower working class, poor working class, middle class, upper class, etc. That's like a classic view.
Yeah.
But the actual parameters or the brackets of what those classes are have shifted over time, so they're kind of mixed up nowadays. So mostly when people are talking about class, they're kind of talking about it from a Marxist way, like the capitalist and the proletariat, the workers
Okay,
and the
okay.
elites. It's kind of boiled down to that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely. If you're one of the bourgeoisie, man, you're living good, bro. What we saying? Like, if you're one of
Not
the richer
necessarily,
people, then how why not?
because right, so material realities is one thing, right? But then you've also got to think about the
Yeah.
contradictions that they exist in, their political realities, their sexual realities, etc., etc. So
So like what? Elaborate.
yeah,
Maybe
I'm
I'm not
just
understanding.
saying in general for you to make the statement that the bourgeoisies are like they're living it up is no, like
Yeah, of course.
they're not the top of the pyramid either, like, do you know.
Well, bourgeoisie refers to like business owners and like bosses, right?
Yeah, in some capacity, yeah, but they're not like
So
for
people that
instance, royal family. They're not like
yeah.
various generations of lords and feudalist lords, etc. like that. They're kind of like a buffer class.
Cool, but yeah, well, I was referring to people that are more wealthy. So, yeah, so yeah, for people that are more wealthy, I think financial and like, assets and having capital is gonna affect your life like significantly more than if you were black or if you were white. It's not.
I don't know if that's
Yeah.
necessarily true,
Why not?
because you've got to think about it. The opportunities that you're going to be afforded in the country that you live, or access to those opportunities, could be dictated by the
Yeah.
racial politics of that country, not necessarily the class parameters. 'Cause
Yeah,
like for
yeah, yeah.
instance,
To be fair, yeah,
you and John
there will be
could grow up
labels
on the
and
same estate,
yeah.
have the same grades, or basically do the same acts, but the outcomes of those acts will be disproportionate based on your race. So,
No,
like
yeah,
in a like a hypothetical situation, if there was going to be a war of some kind, right, and you had to establish who's an ally, who's an enemy, there should be like a structure of how you approach who's going to be and who's not going to be. But the first thing would be obvious. It would be race and then class. But for some people, it's class then race, or some people it's religion then class then race. That's all that's being said there. But yeah,
Oh, faceless, faceless
fake,
left.
yeah, of course, faceless scrambled. She's scared to death. She's there to uphold reactionary politics. Oh, look, here she comes.
Yeah, but again,
Brother, you
like
guys was having your own conversation. I'm just chilling.
All
What do you mean
right.
scared? What am I scared
I'm
of?
just chilling.
What
Scared
am I
that you're
scared of?
black. Scared that you're black and people
I'm
are going to
scared of
realize you're
black.
black and not Muslim.
Maybe you're just stupid enough you can't understand me. So not once did I say
Maybe.
I'm scared of being black. You're trying to
Maybe.
misinterpret me and push your own bullshit agenda. I don't know what it is.
Describe
But
it.
not once did I say I'm scared of being black. So
Describe it.
and not once did
Do
I
you
be
know-
scared of
now-
anything.
now that I actually
I
think
have
about
run
it,
my
right?
mouth as much as I want here, and nobody stopped me saying
What,
anything
what
that
are
I
you
didn't want to
talking
say.
about?
So what are you
You're
talking
being
about? I'm
allowed
scared.
to,
What do
right?
I have to be scared of?
Right, so let's walk through it, right? I think I
but
remember
stop,
having a
stop.
conversation
Have I
with
run away
you
from anything?
about
But have I
Somalians
run
not
away from
identifying as
anything?
being black, but
Excuse
identifying
me.
as being
Because it's a social
Somalian.
construct.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
it's a social construct.
Yes, I agree. Just
So what are you
like
talking
a
about?
nationality is a social construct and a border is a social construct. Right, but which one affects you more?
Something for example, like my Somali nimo, like my Somaliness is something I know my ancestors' names. I have my own traditions and all
Right.
these things.
But which one affects you more?
Me accepting a white
Yeah,
man's
stop.
label,
Like,
yeah?
exactly.
Me
What
accepting a
affects
white
you
man's
more?
label and for him to call me a black man. Do you know,
Yeah, I
that they
know.
called Asian people yellow? Do you
Come
do
on.
you think
Stating
Asian
the,
people should call
stating the
themselves yellow
obvious.
now?
You're stating the
No,
obvious.
but let's be honest.
You are stating the
You're
obvious.
accepting a white man's term, bro. You're
Right,
accepting a
but
white
what are we
man's
doing?
term.
We
That's
are
something a white
living
man
in an
made.
anglophone world,
Do you understand,
speaking
yeah? In my
English, right?
language-
Operating in a
language, yeah?
Western system called
In my
weird.
language, we call-
Western
we call
educated,
Asian people-
industrialized, rich and democratic. It's weird, right?
my language,
Yeah,
we call
it is.
Asian people,
Doesn't
yeah? In
make
my
much
language,
sense, but if you
we
don't
call
understand,
Asian
you
people-
wouldn't know, right?
Listen, in my language, we call Asian people small-eyed people. I would never expect a
Yeah,
Asian person
because
to
you
say,
guys
"I'm
are
part of this group."
discriminatory. Like, what do you want me to?
that's just-
Like, what do you want to
that's our
say?
social construct. You can't say someone's
Guys are
discriminatory.
terrible.
It's our social construct. The white people literally call us black, and we're not. We're not black.
All right, so
and you don't call that
you have
discriminatory.
you have the right to
So what are you talking
self-determine,
about,
right?
bro?
You have the right to self-define and
Wait,
say
wait,
I'm
white people
African
call
and
you
not
black.
black,
Listen,
right?
white people call you,
You have
black,
that
bro,
right.
and you accept it. You're
No,
not
not
black.
necessarily.
You have an ethnicity. You have a place that you came from.
Right, exactly.
You
You're
want
right.
an Asian?
You're
Imagine
correct.
a Chinese person.
You are
imagine a
absolutely
Chinese person
correct. But then ask
accepting
yourself,
the term yellow.
what
Imagine a
do you
Chinese
do?
person saying,
Right? Now
"I'm
ask
yellow.
yourself,
I'm
what do you
yellow."
do to address
What are you
that?
talking about, bro?
What do you do to address that? This is the problem you're failing to understand. You're moaning, but you're not actually
Sorry,
taking
no.
action.
Listen, if
Right?
Somali people are rejecting that term, that's taking action. But
No,
you,
no, it's
you are
not.
saying-
No,
you
it's
are saying,
not.
oh, that's a bad thing.
No, I never
You
said
should
it's
be-
bad.
You should be calling
No,
yourself
you're a
black,
cobra.
like the
You're a
white man.
cobra.
He
You're a
calls you
cobra.
black, so
Right, but
you,
hold on,
you should
hold on.
identify as black.
Who established the country Somali in
My
Somaliland?
brother, imagine an Asian person.
Who
calling
established the
himself yellow.
country Somali in Somaliland? Who
It doesn't matter,
did the
bro.
Berlin Conference and went over to the African
got
continent,
independence. What is your-
continent,
what is your-
con-
we were the
continent,
country
and
fighting
sliced it
British
up,
the
right?
longest. We spent 21 years
but you
fighting
also
British.
got in bed with the Americans and fucked
They had
over
to
your
use
whole
the-
nation.
they had to use
Right?
the RAF
So what are you
to
talking
invade
about?
us.
What
They
are
had
you
to
really
use the
talking
RAF
about?
to
What are
invade
you
us
really
because they
talking
couldn't
about?
get through land or sea.
You've got half of your country
had a war
fighting
with
the
them
other
on
half
land
of your
and sea
country
and
over
sea.
here, right? So what the
They
fuck are you
literally had to-
talking about?
They had
Like,
to come with the
what are
RAF
you
with
talking about?
airplanes to try and to invade us.
Right,
At the end of the
right,
day,
right,
don't
right,
ever
right,
in your
right,
life
right,
speak on a
right,
Somali,
right. I just
okay?
did. I just did.
Never
I
in
know
your
Somalis.
life.
I went.
in your
I
life
went to
speak on a
school with
Somali.
Somalis. Right.
This is-
There,
this
there
is
are
not
there are people who
nationalism.
think
You're
I'm Somali,
You're
right?
peasant.
So do you see it coming out of her? I told you, right? This is at the
Yeah,
essence of
nationalism.
her politics,
Yeah, you're
right?
peasant.
That is it right
It's-
there.
look,
That is it right there.
You're so,
right?
you're so
Ever.
proud of your
Don't
So,
country
ever speak
that
so,
about
you
my
think,
so do you
you
see?
think you're
Do you
better
see
than
the
another
class?
person just 'cause you're
Do you see
Somalian.
it, right?
I
So
don't care about.
you
I don't
think
care
of
about anything,
so
bro.
now you think of
You
yourself
cannot-
as a feudal lord
How
or
stupid of you,
monarchy.
how stupid of
You
to
think of
accept the
yourself
social
as we was
construct
kings.
a white person
'Cause-
gave
'cause
you,
I'm a
yeah?
peasant
You
now.
are from an ethnic group.
You are
from an
speaking
ethnic group.
English, right?
You
You
are
are
from an
functioning
ethnic
in an
group. You're
anglophone
not
world,
black. You're not
right?
black, bro.
Bro,
You're not black. None of us
Bro.
are black. None of us are white. None
Valid.
of us are Asian.
Valid.
None of us are yellow.
Absolutely
we are
valid.
Our ethnicities.
valid. But ethnicities are also
So,
social
It's
constructs.
crazy. Someone's coming
Ethnicities
for
are also
a Somali
social
person and
constructs.
saying,
Faceless.
"Reject the social construct."
Are ethnicities social constructs or not?
It's something
Is
that
race
has
biological?
a whole culture and it's so much
But-
different
but-
to
but-
a
but-
person
all right,
labeling
so
you a black.
now that we
you-
can
are you saying
establish
they're
now that we
similar?
can establish that your ancestry is half African from East Africa and half Arab,
No,
right?
my ancestry
Where
is
does that
full
put
African.
you,
Don't
right?
ever talk about my
And your
ancestry like
culture
me.
being captured
Excuse me, do
by
you
the
know Somali?
Wahhabists, right?
memorize
And
all
turning your
ancestors'
fucking
names.
land
We memorize
into a
all
terrorist
ancestors'
zone,
names.
right?
We know our
Explain that
history.
shit,
We
right?
don't even have to
Faceless,
be
if you want to talk about colonization,
Your ancestors.
if you want to talk about colonization, Why
Tell us about my
has
tell me about my
Wahhabism
blood.
dominated your country for the past
Now you're
century?
reading
Right?
propaganda, bro.
No,
Now you're reading
no, because
propaganda.
you're not
You were
talking
the
to a
first African
Rasta that
country.
ranks Haile Selassie. You're talking to a guy who knows what the fuck went on in your country, right? That's the difference.
Have votes.
Right?
We are the first African country to have votes, men and
Clap,
women votes.
clap,
We were
clap,
before
clap, clap, clap,
Switzerland.
clap, clap. Well
But we have
done.
a Wahhabi religion, bro.
Bro, it literally
that's good and
dominated your
good.
country. It literally dominated your
Whoa, what do you
country,
mean Wahhabi
bro.
religion?
Yeah, that's what
It
he's trying to say. We
literally,
have a
it
Wahhabi
literally
religion.
dominated
Bro,
your
we have
country, right?
freedom in
No,
A bunch of
Africa.
men,
I
Men
think
and
it
women
actually
stand
was
side
run
by
by
a,
side.
bu-
Islamists,
a
not
bunch of men
Islam is
left
Wahhabi.
a bunch
You don't know
a bunch of
nothing
men
about
left
us, bro.
Somalia looking
Do
for
your
work,
research on
right?
us.
I have,
Do your
I have,
research
I,
on
re-
us,
I
'cause you
have,
don't know
right?
nothing about
A
us.
bunch
You
of you
need to
left
Bro, you
bullshit
man,
and
this
went
is
over
crazy.
into
Let's
the
let's
east,
let's calm
right?
down. Let's calm
Seems
down.
like
Let's
you're
calm down.
jealous.
Went over to
Calm
the
down. Calm
east,
down.
Jealous
One at a
of us.
time.
and
One
when
at a
they
time.
came
I can't
back,
hear anything.
when they
You know,
came
all our
back to
ancestors
Africa,
made.
they brought
Remember our
Wahhabism with
9
them.
ancestors.
And
I
overnight,
face this,
women
face this,
stopped being
face
able
this.
to
One at a
dress
time.
the
One at
way
a
they
time. One at a
were
time.
and sing their songs, and
We
they
talk how we
started
were.
having
The
to wear
first ever
fucking
pilot in
face
Africa
coverings
was
and
a
all that
Oh,
shit,
Somali
right?
woman.
That's
The first ever
historical
woman.
facts, okay?
First ever woman to be a pilot in Africa was Somalia. So,
I
what
know,
African
I know,
country
I
would do
rate
that?
that.
Whoa,
I
what?
know, and I rate that. I've seen that picture.
Military
I
pilot.
know,
Military pilot.
I know. I've
Not
seen the
even small
picture. I
pilot. This is a
know, I
military
know,
pilot.
and I rate it, right?
Don't ever speak about
But
Somali
what are
equality.
you
Have equality.
doing? But what are you doing is the question, faceless, right? You're
What do you mean,
This
what
is
am I
what I
doing?
say.
you're here calling people peasants as a Somalian in
You're a
England.
peasant to
What
me
are
now.
you doing is the question. You're not her.
That's what I'm
What,
saying.
what limits have
Yo,
you
step.
fought back
It don't
against,
matter to
right?
me.
That's what
You
I'm
are
saying.
upholding
I respect that.
patriarchy. You are
Moved your
literally here
opinion,
upholding
came to my
patriarchy,
religion,
right?
you came to
You're mugging
everything,
yourself
and then you want to
off.
be offended if I
You
call
are
you a
mugging
peasant.
yourself
Bro, that's
off.
the least of
Right.
me what I can
Listen,
say.
you, for instance, right?
You,
I don't even think you know what
disrespected my
feudalism
religion.
is
You
to be able to
disrespected
say
my
peasant.
people.
I don't
You
think you
tried to say
understand what
we're mixed
monarchy
with
is to
Arab.
even be able to say
Bro, you've
peasant.
done so
So
much, and then you're
you're
offended that I
just
called
being
you
an
a
ape,
peasant.
with all due respect.
Bro,
You're,
the
just,
least I could call
you're
you is a peasant.
mimicking. You don't know what you're talking about, all right? So it's
The
it's
least
nonsense.
I could say is you're a peasant. The least I
I,
could say
I,
about
I
you is you're a
appreciate that,
peasant.
faceless,
Because how you try to
but
disrespect my religion, my
Yo,
people,
but
and everything, and you
faceless,
claim not to
faceless. He didn't
retaliate or
relate.
say anything.
but
He didn't disrespect your religion. He
He
didn't
did. He said you come
disrespect your
from a
religion.
Wahhabi
No,
religion
he
that
said.
is
it's a
oppressing women.
fact about
He said that.
history.
He said Somalia was run by Wahhabism for a little
It
bit.
was
I don't
never.
know if that's
It was
All right.
never.
So
So he's lying.
What happened? I
So
think
therefore,
right
you
Islam
don't
is
know
not
nothing about
Wahhabism.
my country. You're trying to say
in
my
in the
people are
last
mixed with
century,
Arab.
right?
Why? Why are you trying to say my people are mixed
Because
with
that's a
Arab? Because
fact.
we look different to you.
No, it's a fact.
It's a
Because of the
fact.
Arab
It's
slave
not a
trade
fact.
1,000
It's not
years
a
ago,
fact.
it is a fact.
It's not a
That
fact.
part of
It's
the
not a fact.
that part of the continent was
Bro, allow
invaded
it.
by the
It was
Arabs,
never a
right?
part
And
of
it
the
has
slave
been
trade.
dominated all the way up to
Allow
Sudan
it, bro.
today,
Allow it.
right?
Allow
This
it.
is just
Allow it.
history.
Oh, I'm just gonna spread misinformation.
This is
now
history.
because I have nothing
All
else
right,
to
so
do. I'm
anybody
gonna spread
can Google it, right?
misinformation.
Anybody can Google it.
Get out of it. I'm dropping now because you know what? You ain't gonna go and show the people.
Yeah.
Oh, Somalia was run by Wahhabism.
All right.
And you know what? He's going to use them same white source media sources he was complaining about earlier.
But you're on
Bro,
TikTok,
how
so
does
you
that
don't have a
work?
problem with white
You're not
sources.
just
You're
complaining that
speaking
white media
English.
sources
You,
were vilifying
like you
black
literally said
people?
you don't want to be
And you don't
pro-black
think
because
that
a
they
guy
vilify
just like,
Somalia?
what are you doing? Like,
You're the same one saying, oh, the media vilifies the black people, but now you're going to use that same white media that's been vilifying Somalia for the past 30 years to try and vilify us.
all right. So
That's so funny to me, because look at
I'm
the
vilifying
irony.
you.
Look at the irony.
Explain how I'm vilifying you.
What happened to the media being so vilifying and all of this?
Explain how I'm vilifying
Same
you.
media.
Explain it.
Because you just spewed a whole bunch of misinformation about us,
Right,
saying we're
so-
mixed with Arab
Yes.
when we're not.
Some
not. I think
they
some
are.
of you are.
We are not.
Whoa,
What?
There is tribes, yeah, but he just tried to say all of Somalis are. He never.
No,
never
okay,
distinguished
no,
it.
I didn't need to say all, right?
He never distinguished it. He said you lot are mixed with Arabs. That's what he said. He said you're
Alright,
half
cool.
half African and half Arab. That's what he just said.
Yeah,
So now we're
majority of you are.
Are we backtracking?
Majority of you are. This is true. This isn't a lie.
Say that Somalia.
This at least the ones who I see in the West,
You
right?
guys speak
Yo, bro.
Arabic as well. You guys speak Arabic in Somalia.
We don't speak Arabic in Somalia. We speak Somali. The people that learn Arabic.
You speak Somali, but
The people that learn
No,
Arabic
you
speak Arabic.
Yeah, they
you
learn
have to learn
right?
Arabic
Yeah,
to
cool,
speak
cool.
Arabic. Nobody in
Yes,
Somalia
yes.
just speaks Arabic. Do you
No, but
understand that?
yeah, but it's fair to say that the ethnicity, a lot of it is derived from the Arab
Anyways,
language.
No, it's not.
look, right.
That's another
I tell you what,
misunderstanding.
face, right. I'm willing to
So therefore,
concede.
you don't know,
Face,
and you lot are all
listen.
just going off your own
Face, I'm willing to
stereotypical
concede.
narratives.
Face, I'm willing to
I'm
concede.
pretty sure it's Arab though. Like
I'm
No,
willing
pretty
to
it's
sure it
not.
is.
concede
You have
that I'm
nothing to do with
incorrect.
Arabs. They
Right,
have their own
listen.
traditions, bro.
Face, No, in terms of
No,
traditions,
I'm-
that's a different
it is
conversation.
Arab.
They
Like,
But
have
to be fair,
I'm willing to
very sorry.
concede. I'm willing to concede, right, that the Somali genetics have more to do with the
We
Kushite
was never
people
slaves
than
either.
Arabs, right?
So take that back too.
Don't.
We was never slaves
I
either,
never
so
said
take
that.
shit
Right? I
back.
never. Well, no, actually,
You
through
did say that. You said
no,
we were the slaves to the
historically,
Arabs. That's what you just said.
no. So
So take
Somalia,
that back too,
Eritrea
because we was
are
never slaves.
one of the groups of people who never ended up in the slaves, right?
Ethiopia.
But
Not us,
Somalia,
mate.
Somalia,
Get it
Ethiopia, that part of the world, Eritrea,
Get it right,
did
not Somali,
collaborate,
mate.
did
Ethiopia.
collaborate and participate in the
We was
slave
not
trade
part of it.
with the Arab
And actually,
world.
no, there's books
Yes, they
saying
did.
We would not sell.
And to be
our
fair,
own
even
people.
if you
There
see
is
that
books,
the
literally,
immigration
there's
of
books saying
religion
we
in
don't
Somalia,
participate in that.
in Somalia, they've adopted
you're
Islam.
lying,
So
and
Anyways,
you
right, right.
you can
I will
kind of
concede.
tell that
We
they
don't
have been
participate in that. You cannot
face-
even bring one
faceless-
source saying Somali
faceless.
sold slaves. That's
Faceless.
wrong. We never did that.
I will concede, right, that the majority
You
of
concede
Somalis
'cause you
are
don't got
not
shit. You
half
don't
black
got shit.
or
Go Google
half
away.
African,
You don't
half
have nothing,
Arab, right?
brother. You have nothing.
Yeah,
Misinformation.
I don't know if
You
that's
have
true,
nothing.
right? I don't know if that's true, to be honest
Show
with you.
us.
I don't know if
Stop
that's true,
talking
right? I
shit.
don't know if
This
that's
thing
true.
is raging,
But
what the
I will
fuck?
concede.
Stop talking shit, bro.
I will
Stop
concede to
talking
that
shit.
point. However, right? However,
nothing.
you are still highly
anything.
Arabized, right? To this day,
We ain't
which is
Arabized,
yes.
bro. We ain't
What's
Arabized.
your
We
real
just-
name?
We just share a faith.
What's your
We
real
just
name?
share
Yeah,
a
where's
faith.
your name? Where's your name?
It don't matter.
What
my
is the
name.
most
My
common
name's
name
Faceless Goat.
in Somalia?
What is it? You tell me.
I don't know.
You're the one who's making a claim.
Right, I'm pretty like fam. There's not been one Somalian I've ever met that didn't have an Arab name
Mind you, it's
that
not
wasn't a
Somali,
Muslim.
It's not Somalian, bro. It's Somali. Get it right. You don't say Pakistanian. You don't say Iraqian.
I might.
Somali.
I might and I could, right? But
Well,
yeah,
then
look,
you'd be incorrect.
we're being ridiculous here, right? But yes.
Get it right. Don't be trying to label
Hey,
all
look,
people
that's
what they aren't.
that's what you get for
To be
being
fair,
rude.
though, you're so
That's what
proud
you
of
get
your
for being
race and
rude.
you're
Like,
Somali, like
Bro, what do you mean? That's what you get for being rude. You've disrespected
you're
my
so proud
religion,
of-
my
you're so
people,
proud of being
everything. So
oh
what the
my
fuck are you
days.
talking about? You don't deserve anything.
the most
fact
common,
that I need to
the
be
most common
respected
name,
as I am.
the most common name in Somalia
Not
is
respectful,
Mohammed.
man.
Right?
Okay, that's the most common
Incidences
name for
of
most
six hundred
Muslims.
thousand eight hundred and seventy-seven.
Most Muslims know that.
Frequency
It's not
ratio
just
is
Somali, bro.
one.
Every single Muslim
What's
does
it really?
that. Bro,
Right, so
it's a
that's the
tradition
most
of
common
calling the
name, right?
first son from every
Guess,
Muslim has
do you want to take a
the
guess
first
what the
son,
second
Muhammad.
common name is in Somalia? Do you want to take a guess? Because I was going to say it was the first one.
This is going off Google. This is going off Google.
Nah,
Google has
it's
nothing, no
it's
idea
on a
about
website
Somali
called
people. But
Four
let's carry
Bears,
on.
right? But the second
Yeah,
most
they
common
know
name
about
is
Somali, innit?
Abdi, and then the
Bears-
third
Four Bears
is
know-
Ahmed,
Four
and then the
Bears know about
fourth is
Somali, right?
Fadumo. And then the fifth is Ali, and then the sixth is Hassan, and the seventh is
this
Halimo,
is based on-
and the eighth
this
is
is based on what
Mariam,
source again?
and the next and the
Say
ninth
the
is
source again, please,
Amino,
one time.
and the 10th is Abdullah,
Say the source
Abdullahi, right? It's called Four Bears.
Yeah, say the source again. Four Bears.
Four Bears. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so
Four
let's
Bears.
look
Four
somewhere
Bears
else,
knows
right?
everything about Somalis and our.
But are you denying it? But wait, are you denying it? Are you denying it?
Somalis, and I know 100 Somalis, and that list you just gave, I
Are you denying it?
probably know 2 people named that.
Fam,
So,
you're
yeah,
telling me,
what
right?
Four
You
Bears-
grew up
what
amongst
difference
Muslim
do they have?
people
What
and you
difference
don't know
do they
anyone
have?
called
The fact that
Mohammed
they're
or
a website-
Abdi or
the fact
Ahmed
that
or
they're a
Ali.
website- wait,
Don't
the
be
fact that they're a
ridiculous,
website
man.
gives them enough legitimacy.
Don't be ridiculous.
The fact that they're a website gives them enough legitimacy.
What's the Arab name? Like, why you
Anyways,
lie?
right?
Why you lie?
Anyways, we're being ridiculous now. Like,
So, the fact that,
so wait,
so the fact that you
Somalia,
found one website
Faceless,
called Four
right?
Bears, it-
So, Faceless, got to chill for a second. First, right, I just want people to recognise the intention was never to be disrespectful to Muslim people or Somalian people. The conversation is degenerated based on the banner or the back and forth. So, if what I've said has been disrespectful, I apologise. That was never the intention, right?
you were
So,
disrespectful from the start. You called
shut the fuck up. Now I'm being disrespectful. The stream,
disrespectful
the
from the
stream,
start.
the
Stop-
stream
stop.
is available to rewatch on the Culture Crack YouTube channel.
Yeah,
if
everybody
you
please
actually,
do what-
if you actually want to see what said and took place before we got to this
Everyone
degenerate
rewatch it.
moment,
He got disrespectful.
you could watch it, right? But now
He called
Faceless
my
is going to
religion
take the
a cult,
stage.
and that's what started. He called my religion a cult.
It is.
And then he decided to offend my people.
It is. There was a discrepancy on your view on what the definition of a
So
cult
you've
was
been
and what the
disrespectful
actual
the whole
definition of a
time.
cult
The
was.
only-
No, it wasn't disrespectful. It was a matter of fact. All right. You said a cult was one thing, and then we drew for the
think that
definition of a
that's it.
cult.
Wait,
right?
so you think
Yeah, he
Islam
said
is a cult?
Islam is
I
a
think
cult.
all religions are a
He said
cult.
Islam
So
is a
I'm
cult,
not.
yeah,
I'm not
and
picking
he
on you. I
said-
think
Wait,
all
why,
religions
why?
are a cult because
Yeah.
that is what they are by
Why?
definition,
Islam is a
right?
cult.
So,
Why?
That's
all
not
right. So
disrespectful.
we'll explain the definition definition of a cult, right? A cult is a relatively small group of people having
And then he
beliefs
said
or
that no one has
practices.
free will.
Yes, you don't. That's a philosophical claim, right? A relatively small group of people having beliefs
Okay,
or
go on,
practices,
go on.
especially relating to religion, that are regarded by others as strange or sinister or as imposing excessive control over members. That's a standard definition. But historically, even in the
Okay.
times of Egypt,
Any
in
group of people could
Asia,
be called a cult.
in the Levant, a group of people get together around their
What
beliefs.
distinguishes a cult from a religion?
Usually a theological
tell us.
belief.
What
I'm about to
distinguishes a
explain.
religion?
I'm about to explain. What happens is they gather around a set of beliefs, usually a central deity or an ideology.
What
And as that
distinguishes a
group,
religion to a cult?
as that group reaches
What
critical
distinguishes it?
mass and is acknowledged by the government, it then becomes a
you know?
religion, right? I just explained the
you know
difference.
what-
I just
do you know
explained the
what
difference.
distinguishes
It's
a
the
cult from a
membership
religion? Do
amount.
you know?
It's the membership amount and the acknowledgement by other bodies. That's what makes
No,
a
it's
cult
not
a
just
religion. It is that.
No, it's not just
Yeah,
that.
Do tell.
Sorry, bro. You said sinister and has sinister intent.
Exactly.
Did I
No,
misquote you?
it says that are
Yeah, he did say that.
regarded by others as strange or sinister, but that's not necessarily the case, is it? Right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Islam
So,
is sinister at all. Otherwise,
in his definition,
It's
every
regarded.
religion is
Right?
It's regarded
in your
as that by
definition,
people,
then,
right?
In your definition,
it's a
every
set.
religion
It's a set of rules, basically.
is sinister.
That's what Islam is. Is just revelations of sets of
Look,
rules, just as
look,
the
you're
Torah
not,
is as well.
you're
It's a
not,
set of
you're not
rules,
talking to
basically.
somebody that has
Telling
no
people how to
understanding
live
of
as well.
religion, right? Because I debate
This
people
guy,
about religion,
So you
okay?
think every religion
So
is sinister, then? Yeah.
yes, if that's what you want, yes. Now what? What's
but
the
what-
next
you know what
level?
else
What's the next
you know
level?
what else
Yes, I do. Now
Yeah,
what?
but no. Why would you say
What's the
that?
next
Why would
level?
you say that?
Like, now
Why would you say
what?
that?
Now
Why would
what's
you
the
say
next
Islam is
level?
sinister?
It doesn't matter. What's the next level?
In
Now
Islam,
what?
we don't have to give anyone any money.
Now
that we
what?
Want to.
Now what?
In Islam, your
No,
money
but-
Exactly,
Sorry, bro.
exactly, right? Exactly.
In a
Wait,
cult, you
so
have to give
why do you
money.
think
There
it's
is
sinister? Why do you
membership
think
No,
it's
you have
sinister?
I just said that to demonstrate it makes no difference if I think it is or not.
Okay, but why though? Why?
She asked me a question as if it was a gotcha, and I've already told her my feelings about all religions. So yes, I do think it's
No, no.
sinister.
You didn't
Now
tell me
what?
anything
Yeah,
about
but I'm
all
ask-
religions.
Right.
You
but
just
I'm a-
called
but-
Islam.
I'm
a cult
asking you
when
why
I
but-
was
you think
talking.
it's
But
sinister.
now what? I think religion as a whole, how it's happened in recent human history, e.g., the last 2,000 years, has been a control system, and it manipulates otherwise
Okay.
good people to do bad things. Right?
But we can
So
argue
that's why I
atheists do
think
the
it's
same
sinister.
thing.
Right?
In what
We
way?
can argue
What?
atheists
Okay,
do
can
the
you
same
be
thing.
specific? Be
Stalin.
specific, please.
Not
Stalin,
necessarily,
he
right?
killed
You can think
You
about
can say law. You can say law has done that as well.
Law?
If a dictator has
well, yeah,
Yeah.
there are bad laws, but the
say
law's
there's
not a
laws.
religion, right? So a law is what is
And
called a
also,
moral ought.
atheists
It's
have
called
killed
an
people.
ought, right?
King Leopold.
So listen, yeah,
Stalin.
that has nothing to do with atheists as a
No
whole. You
religion,
fool. That's not a
but yet
group of
they-
people.
But yet they did
That's
sinister
not a
things,
group of
so-
people, bro. That's like, think for
No,
a
you're
second.
saying
Think
the
about what you're
ideology
saying,
of
right?
religion. You're saying the
Atheism
ideology of
isn't an
religion is sinister.
ideology or a religion, is
You're
it?
saying the ideology of religion
Is
sinister.
atheism an ideology or religion?
It is an ideology.
It's a conclusion about the proposition
It's
that
an
there's a
ideology
God.
too. What are you talking
No,
about?
it's
It's an
not,
ideology
right?
as well.
No, not a worldwide. That might be a
It's
niche
literally
group of
a-
people, right? Anyways,
It's an ideology too. Why are you
Anyways.
trying to say it's not?
it's not. Define it
I think
then.
that
It
there's-
is.
Define
you
it.
having an atheist mindset is an ideology
No.
of an atheism. It
No,
is.
no, it's not.
an
Right?
ideology.
So atheism, as a view on a God existing or not existing, can be baked into a larger ideology, but on its own, it's not a
It's an
it's not a set of
ideology
principles.
regardless.
It's not a set of principles or ideals and values. It's just a conclusion about a proposition that there is a God. That's all atheism is essentially. So it doesn't tell you how you should
having
live
that
your
thought
life.
is an
It
ideology.
doesn't tell you how you should live your life, how you should treat your neighbor. It doesn't tell you any of that,
No,
right?
it's subjective to whatever you
It's
think
a
is right. For
conclusion.
example, if slavery
No,
is
you
okay
don't know what
today,
you're talking
then-
about,
then there's-
right?
Then the atheists
Right.
will be okay with
So
slavery.
slavery is
If
okay
slavery is
to
okay
religious
tomorrow,
people.
The atheists will be okay.
Right,
with
and so
everything.
religion,
That's
and so is
no, it's
religion.
subjective.
All right, so faceless goat, right? As a Muslim lady, I'm pretty sure you're aware of the propaganda that
Everything is
surrounds
subjective to
Islam,
atheists.
right? I'm pretty sure you're aware of the type of accusations that more bigoted people would throw at Islam, and don't they include sexual assault and slavery and all of these horrible things too, right?
Yeah, but people.
All
say
right
that without
then.
knowledge
So
what they're
don't be so
talking about.
silly
They don't
then.
know
So,
what they're
right.
talking
So you're
about.
being exactly the same
don't
by
know what
saying
they're
that
talking about when
you're
they say
being
this.
exactly the same by saying it's
They mis-
atheism,
they-
right?
they-
There's no book you can
misuse
find. There's no
information.
atheismo.
Okay,
There is no
okay, cool.
atheismo
Anyways,
book you can
regardless,
find.
Atheism or not.
No
Atheism
atheismo
or
book
not,
you
let's
can
talk
find
about-
that says, you know, like
you said
marry this woman,
ideologies,
and if she doesn't want to do this, there's no fucking atheism book you can find that tells you to do shit like that. So stop, bro.
Atheists do whatever they
Stop.
want. It's
Rules that control
subjectiveness.
people.
That's
Rules that
nonsense,
control
right?
people.
atheist thinks
Would
that
that
murder
not
is
count
okay,
as
then
a
that's
as
their
a
life.
It's
rule that
nonsense,
controls
right?
people as
So
well?
you should, what
that
you should
not-
do is think about what you're saying, right? A view on murder,
Bro,
right?
atheism is
Murder,
subjective.
murder
They
by
go wherever
definition,
nothing is
murder
right or
by
wrong with them.
definition, murder by definition
They go
is
by
wrong. Okay,
subjectivity.
murder by definition is wrong based on its definition. It's an unlawful killing of somebody. But
Another atheist could
if you
disagree with you,
understand
though.
morality, if you understand morality or ethical frameworks, one might argue, we just had like a really big debate last night about this, right? One might argue that all ethical frameworks rely on subjectivity, right? Because it's stance dependent. Now, what you
When
subscribe
you have a
to,
religion, that's what you base it
right?
on.
But what you subscribe to is called divine command theory, which says a God either said it or the holy book says it. Okay, that's what you're speaking to about your moral code. But one can argue, since you can't prove that the God exists, it's also a subjective ethical system because it relies on divine subjectivity, the whims and wills
There are many
of the
proofs for
God.
God existing,
Right?
but whether
You
wanna
don't know what
follow
you're
it or not, that's
talking
your choice.
about. Okay. So
is your
anyway,
choice, whether you
what
wanna
was
be, like,
what was the
follow it
larger
or
point?
not, that's your
What
choice.
was the larger point we was talking about before we
But you
got
can't say there's no
sidetracked?
proof of God. Science
We're
itself
talking about
contradicts
codes.
that.
You said
Please
codes
give them.
and rules that control that control a group of people.
Right.
Would
So yeah,
laws
that
not
was just
include that then?
that was just like a
Would
throwaway.
laws not be included then?
No, right. Yeah, that's what I was explaining. So laws, right, are well, so governing laws are prescriptive laws, and it has a lot to do with ethics, like I just pointed to. Governing laws say what you ought do and ought not do. You have the capacity to break the laws at any time, right? But you tacitly or you implicitly agree to abide by the law in order to remain in the society. But a law doesn't function in the same way as a religion, right? Because if you bring in your
Therefore,
belief
wait,
system
did
and you
just
bring in a
argue for
god,
free will?
what are you
Wait,
talking
did you just
about?
argue for free
Having
will?
having the capacity to make a choice isn't the same thing as free will. I defined it for you
Yes,
already.
it is.
Free will is the capacity to
You can choose whether you want to make that choice or not.
no, right?
You not making a choice is a choice. So what are you talking about?
In simpler terms, free will is the capacity to operate free from the constraints of necessity or fate, right?
Constraints are only what you put on yourself, mate.
No, that's a belief that you have. It's not a fact of reality.
That's fact.
Can you jump in the air and
If-
stay there?
if I didn't wanna
Can
follow
you
the
jump
laws
in the
today,
air and
I
stay
wouldn't.
there? Faceless. Can you jump in the
you
air and
don't
stay
wanna
there?
follow
Can
the
you
law,
jump in the
think
air
about
and stay
free
there?
will.
Faceless. Can you jump in the air and stay there?
Bro, we're talking about
Right.
it
So
in a
it's
way of
so what
law.
you
We're
want.
talking about in a way of
What you
law.
want doesn't matter.
The
Okay.
only constraint we
What
have
you-
as
right.
humans are law. Yes
Faceless.
or no?
Do you understand what determinism is?
The constraint that we have is law. Yes or no?
The
For
laws of
example, you're
nature.
an atheist. You don't have a
No,
constraint
no,
of
you
religion.
don't know what
The
you're
only
talking
constraint you
about.
have is law.
Faceless, you're out of your depth, right? Laws are
What are you talking
oughts.
about?
They are prescriptive. So, like the law of gravity is descriptive. You don't have a choice to fight gravity. Okay.
That's outside your framework. You can't stop
What
that
you,
kind of law.
so
that is within your
that is
free
a constraint. That's a necessity. So it's necessary that
That is
if
the
A
stupidest
happens,
shit I've ever heard in my
because
life.
you
Bro,
don't
we're
know what you're
things
talking
you're
about.
actually
If A
capable of
happens,
doing.
if A
Things you're
happens,
actually capable of doing.
if A happens,
That's
it
free will.
necessitates that B follows. Okay. So
Listen,
that's a
listen.
constraint of
You
reality.
just said, oh, you can't stop
Bro,
gravity, so
I'm
you don't have
confused
free
here
will.
because you
Are
was
you
talking about
stupid?
free will
Oh
as
my
in
gosh.
being a human and being able to
Make
Right,
choices and
right.
decisions.
Yeah,
Alright,
if
so-
we talk about choices as in
Right.
that aspect, not as
So
in
a
free will,
choice.
as in it's
All
a
right.
Minecraft
So
creative,
what
but
you
like,
need to understand is that there is a differentiation between free will and choice. True free will would entail the ability to make choice, but choice itself doesn't entail free will. Right? It's like a part of a whole.
How
You
does
don't
choice
have
not
access to
entail
the
free will?
whole.
Okay,
I
so
will explain
How
it
does
to you, right?
choice not entail free will?
I'll explain it to you, right? I'll try and give you an analogy. It's probably not the best game to do it, but no,
so you're
this
saying,
isn't the best game
free
to do
will.
it.
You're saying that
So-
free will is like you're able to do anything
let him
and like
explain.
everything.
Right. So
said.
free will, based on the standard definition I gave you, like the ability to act unconstrained by necessity or fate or at one's own discretion. right?
Sorry. Your definition, yeah?
That's the Oxford
You're saying
definition.
constraints
That's
as
that's
something
an
like
Oxford.
gravity.
That's the Oxford
you
definition.
are saying something like gravity is a constraint on
Yeah, it's a
human
natural
free will.
law. It's a natural law.
And that's something we're not going to discuss.
Oh my
At the end
gosh.
of
Yeah,
the day,
I feel like
we have no business talking about gravity. We're talking about
You
something
have
we
no
can
business
actually
talking
do.
about gravity, right?
Something we
True.
can actually do.
True, right?
Okay, action. Something
True.
positive that we
True,
can
yes.
actually do.
Yes,
Not
yes,
something
true.
like gravity, bro.
All right. So
Now,
If
give
you're
us
talking
an
about
example
choices-
as in,
of how it doesn't exist.
right.
we're
So
talking about
what you
free
need to
will
understand
as in
is
you
free
being
will.
able to break the law or not, or make a
No,
choice. That's
no,
the free will.
Everyone has the
free will
capability
is a
to break
philosophical
laws.
Okay,
claim. Free will is a philosophical claim, not a
if we didn't have
biological
free will, why would
reality.
we have laws?
Right.
If
So
we didn't have free
listen,
will,
I
why would
just
we have
explained it to you, right? Laws are prescriptive. They're not descriptive. You can make choices within a deterministic framework, okay?
If someone's making choices
Li-
for themselves, would you not say that's free will?
No, it's not, right? Because think about it like
Because
this,
you're
right?
putting
You
it with
can
gravity,
you can
that's
be
why.
coerced.
You're putting it with gravity.
No, you can be coerced into making a choice that you fully believe it was yours. This is what compatibilism is. If you don't feel that you've been coerced, then to you the choice was free. It was a free
Even if
choice.
you were
But
coerced,
in a
you still made
deterministic
that
system, exactly, but in a deterministic closed system, which some people believe we are in, biologically speaking,
Making choices
the-
is free will. It's
the
choosing what you want to
consequences
do.
the consequences of the action is already written. All right, so let me speak in your language, right? So
Yeah,
in
but
religion,
not
no,
every
let me
factor
speak.
will be determined.
Let me
Are-
speak
are
in
you-
your
are you-
language. Let me speak in your language. In religion, right, you would say God is the arbiter of all things, right? So he has the greatest will, right? His will be done. Whatever, Allah, God, whatever, right? So he has the greatest will. He set it all in motion. He knows what's going to happen before it happens. So in layman's terms, right? If you're a creator, if you're the creation of a creator, your will can never overpower its will. Therefore, in comparison to the creator, in an atheist paradigm, which would be the universe, your will cannot overpower the creator's will. Therefore, analogous speaking, your individual will cannot overpower the laws and parameters of reality. Does that make sense? Right? But within the parameters of reality, as it's been set out for you, you can operate within the constraints, knowing that before you were born, things happened that caused you to be born. And while you're living, things are going to happen that you have no effect or control over. Right? That's necessity and fate. So you, as a human, can't decide to step out of that line or that cycle. You can't say, you know what,
But I
I'm
still
going to
get to
step
choose
outside
everything
and just
that I
watch
want
things
to do.
happen. You feel you
But
can,
you still
right?
choose your actions.
You
So
feel you
you're-
can.
That's what you're.
Right. So
that's what you
so
are.
have you
not
ever
being,
heard
like,
have you ever
failing
heard
to
about
understand.
have you ever heard about manipulation and coercion, right? It's a psychological tool, right? So for instance, an example of this, a pop example.
Even if
We
you were
have
manipulated
if you
into
go
something, you still
listen,
decided to do that.
not
So you
necessarily.
still have free
This is
will.
what we're talking about. If you're talking about like crime and punishment and forensic psychology, what you're trying to set out to do is to determine if this person actually had the capacity to make that choice, or if there's other determining factors in the choice
he
they
made the
made,
choice,
right? So
made the choice,
in
that
a,
shows
in
free
a
will.
in a simplistic way, right? When you're talking
No one
about
put a gun.
consumer,
No one
right?
put a gun
If
to
it's
his
not
head.
free will,
For an
then
analogy,
free choice.
for an
Then.
No one
analogy,
put a
right?
gun to someone's head and said, "Do
For an
this."
analogy, right? There's something called consumer psychology or marketing. So when you go into a shop, lots of clever people have already laid out the shop and the items that you see in the shop. What you will see first and what you're more inclined to purchase or not purchase, right? So at the point in which you interact with the shop because you need food and you have to work based on the system to get the food, right? You're already in one set of coercion. But now you enter the shop. Your wants, your desires have already been engineered to gravitate you towards a product. Then we do things like, again, like consumer psychology, we make the packaging red because it symbolizes ripeness in nature. So psychologically, you are drawn to that. That's not something you are consciously
Or I
aware
could
of.
choose that I don't wanna
But
buy
you
none of it.
think
you
you're
see?
making the choice. Your choice has been engineered for you. And that's just on a human level. Now, if we're talking about a universal level or a God level, you ain't got a fucking chance, my son, right?
Even if your choices are advertised in a certain way, or people are pushing you to choose something, you still have free will. You can choose that.
It's
I don't want
not
to actually
free
buy from
will.
the shop. They don't
I
have.
feel
You're
like
making a
they don't
mistake.
have items I want, and you can
You're
walk
making
out.
a mistake.
There
You're
will be
making a
multiple
choice.
factors that are
You still
determined,
have free
predetermined
will.
for you. I feel
No.
like multiple factors that will be predetermined for you, but the like the
You
freedom
always
of
have your
choice of whether I'll go out or stay in today. A
exactly.
lot of like, if you're talking about religion, especially freedom of choice to sin or not. If you're talking about law, like
Exactly.
to break the law or
That's
not,
a
that's still
belief.
within your grasp.
Exactly.
No,
That's still
that's a
within your grasp.
belief.
How's that
That's a
a belief?
belief, right?
You're just
Right.
talking
So
about because
here's an
right
example.
now,
Here's
right
an
now,
example of why that's a
right
belief,
now, I can
right?
stand up and jump. There's nothing
Yeah.
determining me
Right. So
for me to
yes,
To sit
do that.
down.
yes,
To
there is.
sit
Right.
down.
So
For
right. So I'll
example,
give you
Yes, to sit
just be
down.
patient and listen to these two
he can jump
examples,
when he
right?
wants to.
Listen to these two examples, right? So on a religious level, right, one could critique the Garden of Eden story. Whether Muslims believe it or not is besides the point, so don't take it personally, right? But one could critique the Garden of Eden story and say God created the garden and the apple and the snake and Adam and Eve.
Yeah, we don't believe in the
So
Bible
I
version of it.
fucking know. I just said that, right? Track,
So we wouldn't
right?
agree.
It's a, let's move on to the second example for the slow ones, right? You know, you've got to keep the class together, right? So, second example, right? There's something called readiness potential, which was studied a while back, right? It means before you make a conscious decision to move your body has already decided to make that action. Your conscious mind just justifies it retroactively, right? Scientifically speaking, what you experience in your conscious mind is a moment that's already passed, right? So any moment you experience, in order to quantify or qualify that moment, it has to have already passed and gone through a mental filter, which demonstrates you're not necessarily the one making the choices. You're the
That is
observer.
hilarious.
Whoa.
That's
I feel
hilarious. He
like
just
if you're
said
talking
that your
about
brain does the thinking for you, and then you just comply without even thinking. And then after you do it, you start thinking about it.
So
Like, brother, what are you talking
do,
about,
do you
bro?
know
We're
there's something
always
called a
constantly
conscious
thinking.
mind and a subconscious mind? Your
Yeah, we
subconscious
know that,
mind
yeah,
but
thinks
yeah, yeah.
abstract, right? Your subconscious mind doesn't use language. Your
still, you
conscious mind
choose whether you
uses
want to get up
language.
or not.
Oh
You
my
still
god,
choose.
you are
So
coping
I'm
hard,
sorry,
so
but even
hard.
if you're telling me the brain has
So
made the
it's
choice
like
for me,
trying to tell
allow it.
Naruto, like, like Naruto, like
He's really trying to convince people your brain
you
made
you
No,
choices
might
no,
be
no.
able
before
to
you
you
even
might
think
be able
It
to
about it.
be you
depends
might
on
be able to be
the importance
Hokage
of the
one day,
task as
bro.
well.
You might be able to be
It depends.
Hokage
It
one
depends
day,
on the
but
importance
right
of the
now,
task.
like
If
you got to
if
learn
it's
this
just like
jutsu, right?
on the
That's
task,
it's like fucking
going to
hell.
the toilet,
It's like,
My
you're not
friend,
gonna really think about it. You're just gonna instinctively act on the
there
action
are
of walking
things
to
that
the
our
toilet.
brain does subconsciously. For
If it's
example,
something more
breathing.
important, if
yeah,
it's something
yeah,
more important, like you're
exactly.
playing a game or
Or
something,
Breathing.
you're
there
We do it
there
actively
without even
thinking about
thinking
it.
about it.
exactly right
What's
now
this
now
debate?
you're grasping it, right? So
But
you have
but
various
something
What's the
like
debate?
autonomous
jumping,
you have various
jumping and
autonomous
stuff like this, these
systems.
are things we make consciously. Do you know
Right.
what I mean?
No, not necessarily. This is what I'm trying to explain to you, right?
Yeah,
So
you
if
think,
if a
do I want to
desire
stretch
if a
today, for
desire can
example?
be
And you do it.
manufactured, if a desire can be manufactured in you, right, then the consequences of that desire being manufactured would appear to be your choice, but you're just responding to external stimuli. That's what's being said. Okay?
But even the point of you saying that you sometimes you might act before you have thought of it,
Yeah, you wasn't
like
talking about something like breathing. You were
you've
talking about
already thought
actual
of.
a
Yeah.
I feel
decision.
like
Your
you've
heart
already
is
decided. Yeah,
working,
you're
your
gonna move.
respiratory system is working, your blood is pumping, and your conscious mind has
But
nothing
you
to
don't
do with
believe in a
that.
God.
Right? What you could say is at the moment where you choose to take notice of your respiratory system, like your breathing or your heart rate, your mind can make your heart rate or your breathing change. But as soon as you stop paying attention to it, it goes back to being autonomous. There are many things like that in the world. You made a choice about interacting with your own body, but the reality is
But
your
things
body
like that
was
are
made
engineered into
by
our
your
body
parent.
for it to
Exactly. Your
work without
body
us
was
thinking
made
about
by
it.
your parent. So you didn't even start the
It was
process
made by
of
God, but
existing,
yeah.
right? It was made by your parent, right? Whether a God exists or
Yeah,
not.
but it was
There was
made
a
by God,
gestation
really.
period, there was 9 months, and then boom, there you were, right? So your body was made by your mum and dad. So you didn't start the autonomous process, right? And you could maybe if well actually I don't want that to be the case, but you could potentially stop
I'll
Technically,
be
it
it,
was
right?
honest.
made by God.
I feel like the determinism argument is so weak because
Yeah,
you can
true.
always do stuff. You can do stuff to stop that, whether you think that's determined for you or not. I think there's a degree to
Yeah.
where it is,
You're
but
right.
Yeah.
a
You're
large
right.
amount of it is
But
also
it's
A
your
large
own
amount of it is
it's a
choice.
free will.
right, but
Yeah, it's your choice.
it's a philosophical or metaphysical claim. But
Yeah,
biologically, there's not much you can do about reality. That's what's being said here. You're allowed to think
absolutely
that,
you can.
right?
You can slow
You
down your heart
can.
rate by doing some exercise, for example, holding
Yes.
your breath,
Yes,
stop
yes.
like fully
Didn't I just
reaching
explain
into
that?
your heart and stopping it.
Didn't I just explain that? But
I'll be honest,
So you
I
can do
was hearing
something
you.
about reality then. So you can
are
do
you
something.
responsible for making your heart? Right? Are you responsible for your inception, your conception? No, right?
That
So you're in a causal chain
no,
already.
but that's God.
You're you're
That's
I
God.
in
mean,
you're in the game already, right? So it's
That's
I
God
mean,
made.
as you're growing up, you're eating. Your brain is kind of allocating the
yo, what's up,
nutrients for your
McTime?
body to
What's up,
grow
Brick?
and release
What's up,
IGF
Juicy?
one and grow your heart. So technically, you are. I mean, maybe not
No,
subconsciously, but
no,
Well,
right?
let him finish first. Let him
That's
finish.
your drive. It's true that you have
no,
to
no, no,
consume
no.
molecules in order to grow, right? And then adding those
Okay.
molecules from other dead things keep you alive and make you grow. This is true,
Yes,
but
and
this is
your
a
brain is
process.
allocating the nutrients for your body to grow.
Yes,
That's
but
you
Yeah,
doing
you
it,
don't
maybe
tell
not
your brain
this
to
is
consciously.
a
do any of this.
this is a biological process that you have already found yourself in merely by existing. It's not a choice that you made. Okay.
Now, this is a
So
process
now
which
you're
God
saying
created and put
Oh my
into place.
gosh, how is this
But yeah,
difficult to get through?
you're saying the process is pre allocated to you by some predetermined
Yes,
uh
your anatomy.
biological factor.
Yes, it's your anatomy. You could have
did
been a
not God create
giraffe. You would
ourselves
have been
with
slave to
such
the anatomy of a
intelligence?
giraffe or an ant, but that's just what it is, okay?
And have you noticed even a giraffe has its own digestive system and its own anatomy? a pig, a cow, a human. We all have our own digestive system that work for our diet. And you think that
Not
this is all
necessarily.
random?
No, that's not true.
You think that this
That's
is
not
all
even
just
true.
random?
Majority of the
Yeah,
diseases that we
every
die
single
from.
animal has
No,
their own
no,
digestive
as
system. What are you
humans,
talking about?
majority of the diseases that we die from are based on the things we put in our body. Right? We're not doing very
Okay,
well.
but-
Right? We're
that doesn't
adapting,
mean-
but we're not too fucking well.
That
Right?
doesn't mean
Right?
that we don't have a system of digestive system.
Anyways,
that is-
right? So
that is
two.
intelligent.
Do you want to chime in, bro?
That has nothing to do with the digestive system point.
Two. Do you want to chime in? Two. Are you there?
Oh, my man's gone.
But yeah,
Yeah,
guys,
but you're riding on the determinism against it's determinism against nurture. Is that not the argument?
No. Like, look.
Is determinism
Why?
against
Right. So
determinism against
why
free will,
was
sorry.
right? Exactly. So why was determinism brought up in the first place? Because Faceless was just shouting about, oh, but we have free will. We got all of this shit, and I was like, no, not
yeah, we
necessarily.
have free
Okay.
will. That's why we have laws.
That's a philosophical
You're trying to
claim.
say something about gravity.
It's
you
a
lost it.
philosophical
Like, the whole point is
claim.
gone because of what you said.
It's a philosophical
Okay,
The point about
claim.
gravity made you.
It's not a reality.
I feel
Okay.
no.
The
Okay,
point
cool.
about gravity
You
made
said
him
it's
look stupid.
determined.
What are you
You said
talking
it's
about,
determined.
Faceless? Right. So
That point about gravity,
Faceless.
it
Right.
made you look stupid because you
Describe the laws of
trying to run
nature.
for anything.
Faceless. Describe the laws of
Can I
nature.
ask quickly what the debate's about?
There is no debate.
No, we were talking
We've
about
got
free will.
Faceless going
Oh.
crazy about nothing because she
We're
couldn't
talking about
decide
free
whether she
will,
wanted
and
to
he
be
said,
black
yeah,
or Somali.
because that we
That's how
can't-
this
we can't
happened.
stop
I'm listening.
gravity.
Right.
He said because we can't stop gravity, we don't have free will because we have constraints like gravity. But
That's-
unlike gravity, has
that is a
nothing to do
constraint.
with our choices and our actions.
Yes, it
So
has
that's
everything
what
to
we
do
have
with
free
it.
will
So
about.
what the fuck do you think
So he's trying to
Newtonian
put
physics is?
gravity on-
The fuck are you
on
talking
personal
about?
Choice. Personal choice such as actions that affect your life.
All right.
Not
Anyways,
gravity, bro.
all right.
That's
So
why you look stupid to me.
this disruptive
When you said that.
child.
You're debating on different levels of
You're right, there, bro.
Constraint. choice of free
Yeah,
will, I
literally,
think,
he's
though,
trying to
'cause
misunderstand me when he knows exactly
Faceless
what I'm
is talking about like the free.
He knows what I'm
Faceless
talking
is
about.
got
He
free
just
will
doesn't
to,
want
like,
to
I don't know,
admit
like,
it.
No,
go
don't.
to
He
the
doesn't
gym
want
or
to
not.
admit.
No,
He
no,
knows what I'm
no.
talking
Faceless
about.
doesn't
He just
know
doesn't
what
wanna
she's talking
admit.
about, which is the problem too. You can't.
Well, everyone understood. Two understood. Sammy understood. But you.
What you're gonna
you're
end up
saying
doing is
because-
like
because of
making it
gravity,
worse.
Because of constraints.
Okay, no. I want to
Come on,
talk
man, allow
about how you
we
why you think
obviously-
that
we
the
obviously
law
can't
and
fly.
Allow it, allow
and the nation's
Poor
law
child,
is
man.
not a cult but a religion is. Why do you think a
Yeah,
law
we were
Sorry,
talking
what did
about
you
free
say?
will.
country is not a cult? Why do you think
A law.
country's
We've
law
already,
is not
we've already,
cult
we've already
as
gone
well?
through that. A law is just a description, right? A law is just a prescriptive law, right? It's not a descriptive law.
Can you imagine
Well,
someone saying we don't have free will because of gravity?
Wait,
That's
'cause
so
you said
funny.
it's
Jesus Christ! Like, you know, actually, it's actually laughable.
Like, I can't get over
Hopefully,
that.
like you
I
grow
actually
back,
can't
grow
get
up,
over
that.
and,
I don't get
and
it.
actually
I
come
can't
back
get over
and
that.
see
That's
how
actually
stupid you
hilarious.
sound.
Imagine saying you
crazy.
don't have free will because of gravity.
Yeah, the laws of nature, which you cannot transgress, which is
Bro,
necessity,
what-
which are
That
constraints.
doesn't have anything
Right,
to
so
do
Sammy too
the
seems
law
to
of
understand
gravity
exactly
is
what
a
we're talking
constraint in reference to the definition of free will. Right, so the definition of free will is the ability to act.
What's your definition of free
hilarious.
will?
I'm using I'm referencing
on,
the
what's-
Oxford definition, right? The
He's
ability to
saying
act
constraints,
unconstrained
yeah?
by,
It says
by necessity or
constraints,
fate.
But
right?
constraints could be laws.
gonna-
But he's gonna.
Let me
Right,
search up
so
the
yeah, exactly. Just give it a Google, right? The ability to act
Constraints can be
unconstrained
laws.
by necessity or fate or at
But
one's
he's
own
gonna go for
discretion. Right?
gravity. Constraints are meant to be laws, but he's gonna go for gravity, guys.
That is a constraint.
Constraints are laws.
Yes, it's a law. It's a descriptive
Real
law.
life laws.
So
that
wait,
you could
do
go
you
to jail
do you think
for,
do you
not
think
the law of
you
gravity.
are so dumb? Oh my god, you are dumb as
Law of
rocks.
gravity.
Oh my god, you are dumb as rocks.
talking
You don't
about
think
laws
gravity
that
is a
you
law?
can
Can I
jail
interrupt?
for.
You are dumb as rocks. Oh my gosh.
Please.
Oh my gosh.
Can I just say?
She just
With-
compared gravity
with
to the court law. Like, the
With the
court
definition
law
that Set is
is
using.
prescriptive.
Talking about laws that have
Gravity
consequences for
is
your
a
behaviour.
descriptive law. It does.
Not the law
Faceless.
of gravity.
Are your boobs gonna sag or are they gonna fly up into the air? Right?
Imagine saying
You are constrained by gravity, nigga. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about.
We're
Like,
talking about laws that
You're
actually
goofy,
affect
man.
you
You
and
sound
put you in
stupid.
prison. We're
Faces,
talking
you're,
about
you're
things like
Sounds-
that.
sounds
That's
stupid.
Set is using, man.
it sounds stupid,
You're
man.
using different definitions. That's the problem.
No, we're using the same definitions. You just
Faces,
can't track.
Did you read the Oxford definition?
He's
Faceless.
saying constraints,
Okay,
yeah. But
wait, say it to me.
he
Say,
said,
say the def. Say,
and he knew what I was
Wait,
talking
wait,
about
wait,
was
wait.
about actions. He
wait,
knows
Faces,
it.
can
It
you
was
say
about
the
actions.
definition to me though? Faceless.
free will.
Please, can you say the definition to me? Yeah.
Me.
The
What free
Oxford
will is.
definition for free will. Yes, yes.
I
For
paraphrased
me,
it to be clear.
free will is having the
Just search it up.
ability,
Just search it up.
having the ability to make decisions, and
Without the constraint
which,
of law.
yeah, without
Constraint
Okay,
of
search-
what?
no, search
Without
up. That is not the
constraint.
definition.
The constraint
Just
of what?
Literally search up and
He
read it.
paraphrased it.
Don't paraphrase it.
What-
Just read
the
it.
I
constraint
feel
of
like
what?
in some actions you
Faith,
can
she's going to,
you can
she's going
have
to search
free
it up.
will.
She's going to search it up. When she
But
gets back,
say
she's
if
gonna
you're
read
talking about gravity,
By
obviously
the
you're
way,
not going to be
Faith,
able to have
we can't hear
free
you when
will
you're
over
outside of the app.
every
just so
fact.
you know.
If you have free will, you can have free will over choice, but not in every aspect.
I've
you
already
have free will.
explained
Okay,
this,
cool,
right?
We can agree with that.
Choice is an aspect
Okay,
of
guys,
free
let me
will.
read what Google
Okay.
is saying.
Okay, let's listen. Let's listen.
Yeah, let's listen.
Go on.
So I'm gonna keep flipping in and out, okay? Because I need to
Okay.
read it all, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Shall I screenshot it and then like put it as a image?
No worries, I got you. Don't worry.
See, or something.
I got you. Don't worry.
Set can just show us. It would be easier.
It says
Yeah,
Bro,
but
we
listen,
can't hear
listen.
you when
You
you
said,
go
the
out.
power
you
to
said
make
free will.
decisions and choices, which
You
are
said
not.
free will.
He's
You
got
can
it
have
up.
free will in
Look,
in
he's got
terms
it
of
up.
No,
choice.
that's
Don't
his
worry.
definition. That's not what mine says.
That's the Oxford definition. He's using the Oxford definition.
Basically, it says you can decide what to do on your own, and it doesn't. The past doesn't affect you, and you can make decisions. It's about making decisions and having
Alright.
choices. That's what mine
What
says.
definition
Nice
is that?
Adaby girl. I
What
see
definition
you.
is
I
that?
see you. The past just doesn't affect you. That would make sense about your politics and that. that
Faceless,
lines
what
up.
definition are you using?
Jesus
Cambridge.
Christ.
Cambridge.
Wait, it doesn't say anything about law. The power of acting
Yes,
without
please look at
constraint.
Cambridge.
Okay, constraint. That constraint can be anything, to be fair.
Exactly. It depends what you're talking
Right.
about. In this case,
So,
we're talking
yeah.
about laws when it comes to your behavior, your actions, the
Right.
cycle, the effects that it has on it, not gravity.
That is a constraint. That's necessity. The example I was trying to describe to you is, in order for a human to say they can operate
It says the
outside,
ability to.
Exactly.
yes,
the ability to
operating
decide
outside
independently
of constraints
without
of
outside.
necessity. Right. Let's just put it back on the screen.
I mean, it
right?
depends. I mean, I think.
So what I'm saying is
I think
wrong.
you're
I've
taking
been
it quite
saying
literally.
literally
though.
making choices.
It
and
is
decisions. That's
literal,
literally what I've
right?
been
So
saying all day.
I'll explain it for the 100th time, right? Free will is a philosophical or metaphysical claim. Okay, it has everything to do with humans and the constructs we make. So, right, if you are a human, a biological chemical being, right, you are constrained by the laws of reality. Those laws necessitate what you can do and cannot do. If you were to be able to express free will, right, you'd be able to operate outside of those laws, therefore being what we describe as a god.
If it's literal, then I. agree
As a
with you,
god,
Seth.
right?
He's trying to say because you can't fly, you don't have free
no.
will.
So now we
That's
break
madness.
it down
Yeah,
into
yeah.
You're not
let's
listening
break
to
it
them.
down
Completely
into a
banned.
cultural
I label it.
context. If we break it down into a cultural context, right, and we understand what laws are, the laws of nature, like gravity or thermodynamics or like the electromagnetic spectrum, right, they are descriptions. They're called descriptive laws. Now, in litigation, like don't murder, don't kill, don't rob, right, those are prescriptive laws. Okay. In order for you to abide by a law like this, like the prescriptive law, you have a choice because you have the capacity to choose. But in order to break a law like a descriptive law, you don't have the capacity to choose that. So that's a constraint by necessity, right?
But at,
Okay,
at
yeah,
the
but
end
you're
of the day,
talking
that's not what
about
we were
you're talking about
You
prescriptive
mentioned
laws
something
and
that
laws.
So-
has nothing
Those
to do.
they're cool.
Exactly.
So laws,
We're talking about
legal laws are
this
also philosophical
descriptive laws,
claims, right? They're about
descriptive
how
laws, then
one
you
should
can-
govern,
you can
how one
set
ought
free
to
will.
act
It's
or
not
ought
literal,
not
though.
act, right?
It's
So
not
I gave
literal.
you both. Right? I'm giving you the metaphysical, philosophical version and the biological reality. The biological reality of the laws and
can't-
constraints are gravity, are the electromagnetic spectrum, are thermodynamics, etc., etc.
No, you
right?
can't use gravity.
The method-
You cannot use gravity.
It's a descriptive law, right? Based on Newtonian physics, right? Even all the way up to Einstein's theory of relativity, gravity is in there, right? It's a description
that's to
about.
do with-
It's a
that's to do
description
with, like,
about our
mechanics
universe,
and
right? So I'm
things of
giving
this
you
nature.
both sides. I've done it already. If you just listen,
But
right?
you know the side I
So-
was talking about.
Right, but even
Exactly. So
even
why are you
if
doing the long game?
even if you can make a choice, it doesn't entail that
man.
you have free will. Choice
Okay,
is a
right, I'm
part
gonna go
of the
as
whole,
well.
right? Because you're
This has been
dumb,
enough.
right?
Love, love,
Oh,
love, love,
oh,
But
I'm
love.
thank
done
you,
now.
for
Brother,
wasting
I'm
everyone's
done with
time.
this.
Jesus Christ, man. Like, fun times, I guess, right? She couldn't decide if she wanted to be black. She doesn't understand free will. It's just reactionary politics on Smash. It's just crazy. It's insane. But anyways, should we call it a day, or does anyone else want to have a crack at it? What a mess. Sure, come up, bro, boy. Yeah, no one was actually arguing for atheism. The problem is, right, their religion is so intertwined in all of their politics and all of their views that this is what they reduce the conversation to. Because this is part of what substantiates calling it a cult, because they can't separate the ideology from their identity. They believe themselves to be the Muslim, to be Islam itself, and a Christian and a Jew, right? They can't separate the ideas from themselves. So any critique of the idea is like a critique of them as a person. Hence why it's so fucking dangerous, okay? That's why we got here. I don't give a shit about arguing about atheism. What difference would it make? I do that at different times in different places. But yeah, you got the request button is at the bottom. It's like a little pink man and a blue man. But yeah, it's just it's bad, man. It's bad. Hello?
Hello, do you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Alright, so I just wanna, it's not a debate, I just wanna ask like a simple question though, or like some tips.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I'm definitely younger, I'm sure you're very older, and the conversations you have and the debates you have. I don't know, I look at your previous videos and some of the videos you had like a full beard, I was like, damn.
Oh, that's not me, that's my brother.
That's your brother?
That's my brother.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's crazy. Would you mind giving me your age though? Like, would you like mind telling me what your age is?
Say again, sorry?
Would you mind telling me your age though?
I'm ageless, bro.
Okay, fine. Anyways, I'm in my early 20s though, and I would like to, I would like some tips on how to like become more articulate with my words and what you call it, like expand my vocabulary, because the conversations you do have with people is very, very deep and very interesting, regardless of beliefs.
I wouldn't even regard myself as being able to. I don't think I can articulate my thoughts and ideas correctly, so I don't think I'm the person to ask. But just in terms of generic advice, just listen to people who are smarter than you. Just hang about, ear hustle, read if you can be bothered to read, and just get interested in something.
Sounds good. I bet. Thanks a lot for the advice. I'll take that. I'm gonna drop now.
Appreciate you, bro. Midnight?
How's it going?
Mr. Midnight. What's up, bro?
Probably long term, I'd say class is more important because you get some cool features from various races, but class usually kind of like defines your character. Like if you're a warrior or a monk or whatever. Right?
Say again, sorry, bro. You're kind of muffled.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this better?
Kind of. We'll see how it goes. It didn't sound different to me, but
okay.
We'll see. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. So yes, man. Why not?
Sure. I mean, long term, I think probably class more important because down the line, there's like way more defining features. Like warriors will wear like all the armor and all the weapons, hit harder usually, but like.
Alright, I see what you did there. There. That was pretty clever. I like that.
Oh, what's up?
I see it. So what are you like a tank guy? You're a sniper guy? Like a ranger type? What's the deal?
I usually play wizard.
Wizard? Little bitch.
I like to build a bend reality, it's fun.
Fair enough. I would never pick. Well, look, wizard is interesting. You usually like in games like Elden Ring, like wizard starts looking good as you get to the middle or the end of the game, and people are throwing spells at you. But at the beginning, it's like I just want to break stuff. So why do I want to like cast spells and go like this? Like Fucking Harry Potter. What's this? Yeah,
Like
strength build or
warrior
something.
or a barbarian. Then.
Yeah, strength dex maybe.
As a wizard, I appreciate there being strength-based people around. Heck yeah.
Funny. Little bitch.
You'll beat them up and keep them business and like launch like a meteor storm on them.
I know, that's what I mean. It's just ridiculously unfair, like broken.
Yeah, but the wizard can't just run up and swing their sword and hit someone for like 20
Some
damage.
days.
Like warrior,
Yeah, but the warriors earn those skill points, close combat, like grafted to get that character to be able to have minimal armor with a heavy weapon and still not get hit. Right, that's skill. Whereas you just like put on a spell, just like fucking stat. Yeah, you cheated. Like it's like in life. You're fucking cheating.
I feel bad for muggles sometimes.
Hey? Feel bad for what?
Muggles.
Muggles. Harry Potter reference. That's deep. See, racialization, bro. You didn't hear the class and the race type of undertones of that in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Poor Hermione and them, man.
I have a lot of problems with how that system works, but I was just talking about like game mechanics in general, like warriors versus wizards and thieves and hunters or rangers, as you call them.
Yeah, obviously.
I just figured that was kind of the topic.
Obviously, you knew that weren't the case, but well done for lightening the mood, though.
Oh, I see. Some of the comments. Oh, it's about politics. Oh, okay. Maybe. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, I'm like you're fine with talking about like fantasy games. That's
Look, as like a fun. Right, so I'm trying to compartmentalize the joke part of what you're saying and the seriousness, but yes, we are really fucking discussing fantasy. In effect, it is true, right? Constructs on both sides. We are discussing fantasy, but fantasy seems to have some real life implications. So.
Yeah, we get the fantasy ideas emerge from people in reality. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it pissed me off. Like in the prequels, right? Was it the Fantastic Beast or whatever? Did you see that movie?
Nah, I don't watch those kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay. Like, it kind of pissed me off because they like it's just spoilers. I don't know. This movie's like 10 years old, so this would be spoilers. But they make a whole town of people forget like the events for like the past like few months or whatever. It's like really fucked up.
Hey, oh, that guy dropped down.
Yeah, maybe I can look
possibly. He's probably confused about what the conversation is. That's probably why.
But like, there's another show, The Magicians. I think it was on Sci-Fi or something. But you ever see that show, Magicians? Quentin Coldwater and the crew. No, okay.
Nah, not unless it was like. Was it like a guy wearing a black mask?
No, that was a different one then. So, but this one's about like a secret magic school as well, and they kind of keep it secret from the public as well. How about maybe you know Black Panther?
Yeah. Which one though?
Okay. So like the one from like the Marvel movies.
Oh no, I don't fuck with that, man. That's pretty shitty.
Okay.
Well, I think about like
you know about like Wakanda and like vibranium in their city.
Yeah, I know the references. Yeah.
Okay. So when they came out and actually started to help one portion, like one little town, like one neighborhood, and using virtually no resources, they were able to like lift it to an amazing place, right?
You there, bro?
So like I think like the whole story behind that was like if you let people stay sovereign and they could help others, they're trying to make that allegory of like let people have their sovereignty that they make them whatever, and also make there be an opportunity, let them have the opportunity to help others. So like I'm just bringing it up to say I get it. Like a lot of fantasy stuff, they use a lot of real world issues. They use those to base the fantasy on. And they give the fantasy version as the allegory, you know?
Yeah, this is a fact.
I
There's
get that. I get that.
there's never been a movie made without politics baked into it or ideology baked in. So.
To some degree, you might be right. I might have to agree with you. To some degree, yeah.
Of
But I
course.
would argue Tommy Wiseau's The Room. There's nothing
Don't know
because
what
you
that
ever
is.
saw that movie.
Well,
Yeah, listen,
that might be a
go look
funny
Tommy
joke.
Wiseau The Room, but then you might see why I say that.
Yeah, I guess I'll probably have to be in the know to know.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm just saying as an example. That one is like so far out there. It's like I don't try to figure out anything about it. Good luck.
Fair. What are these guys arguing about right now?
But I like Wizards a lot. I like I like being in a party with a bunch of different races and classes. We got a mix of powers, you know. There's an elf over here, there's a dwarf over there, a human over here. Mix it up, you know. We got all the bases covered, right?
Yeah, I guess. Got that nice little Lord of the Rings cast.
Like the thinking about it from like when you're saying like politics, like something like Dungeons and Dragons, it's kind of teaching you to look for differences in other people and to appreciate them, because it's like, you see, the human can do this, but the elf can do that, and the dwarf can do this. But together they're stronger, you know. And when you have a warrior and a wizard and a thief and a priest together, they're way stronger.
Yeah, this is great messaging.
That is like, what's that?
This is great messaging.
Yeah, it's encouraging you to be cooperative and build a team. So. I didn't think about it when I was a kid playing it. I just thought it was cool. And I'm like, yeah, let's go beat up some monsters. And I got a little older. I'm like, it's encouraging team building because this is a cooperative game. It can be a lot of fun. You take some big risks. Maybe you get some awesome treasure. Maybe your character doesn't make it. You know?
Yeah. It's real. Too real.
Yeah. But it's, it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, I guess I'm a big proponent of like Dungeons and Dragons type games, like Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu, even the
what was
games
that?
with like strength and intelligence. Like I just mentioned a few other D20 type games like Call of Cthulhu and
Call of Cthulhu.
Pathfinder. Yeah.
Okay.
That's more like a D100 game, but it's in the realm of what D20 does. You know, like you take an action and you roll dice.
I don't know what the reference is.
Figure out if you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Go on.
No, it's fine. Yeah. I'm sorry. I got excited there. You're talking about these games. You get a little excited. Sorry. Sorry.
Don't that look like a lobster in the sky?
Yeah. I've had a lot of fun playing these types of games for years, and I encourage others to. It's a different way to play a game, and it's heavily cooperative focused. Like you want a team of like 3 to 5 players who are like, let's meet once or twice, like once a week or so, whatever. And our team is like the elf wizard and the human barbarian and the dwarf priest and the human thief, and like we're gonna go on adventures. We're gonna go find some treasure, maybe get rid of some bad guys who are terrorizing the nation or the countryside, whatever. You know, we're gonna go delete some orc bandits who've been robbing this village blind. You know, why not?
I hear it still. I've never had the chance to really get involved in board games like that as a kid. It wasn't available to me.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. HCO, HC, what's up, bro?
What's going on?
What are you saying?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Is that it looks like a 00. It's like a James Bond reference there, the 007.
Yeah. No, I was born in 03. I'm not that young, but
Oh, I just okay. I was just asking if it was a James Bond reference.
Oh yeah.
Is that an Indian flag?
Yeah, it is.
Indian?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
It colors my perspective on this particular.
Yeah,
topic,
let's hear it.
Yeah, I think that your racial. I think that race is probably more important than class. I think that different races have like a different position in the world, and it colors their countries, right? If you look at global, if you look at the world on like a class structure, which countries are high class, right? And which countries are low class? You got to think about that, right? They're divided up by race almost.
This is true.
Like you can say whatever you want about inside the country, but the rich countries will white, some of them are Asian, East Asian, right? Not South Asian, not African, not Latin American. So not Middle Eastern really, unless it's like a few countries like Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia, United Emirates. But even then, I see race as being more important for like the future of a person than their class. Really.
Well, that's totally understandable. I mean, I understand it as. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. Obviously, I hear what you're saying, but in terms of right, so if you were actually to look at it like that, yeah, race is definitely important, and a lot of people are inclined to think race first, and it's valid. But in terms of how you was just laying it out economically, how that economic extraction was done did play out through class systems. Right? But it's just that, for instance, in England, right, they went from living in communes. You know, like the joke in the Holy Grail, like we're in an anarchist commune, like, right.
Yeah.
And then they like a bunch of people were like, oh no, we're gonna put borders on the commune. We're gonna border the resources, like so you can't get to the lake no more. You can't get to the fields. Like you gotta come through us, types of shit. So, in the same countries that went on to invent racism and perpetuate racism, their racism stemmed out of their class warfare in their countries. Ironically, right? So
I mean,
they inform each other.
would you say like Britain colonized like Africa and India because they were like a different class than them, or because do you think
No,
they thought it was okay to do that because they were like look different than them? They're, like,
it's
people
both.
are not like that.
It's both. What led them to the point? What led them to the point of colonization was them going from like so Europe had slavery as well, right? So it was like I can't remember the exact order, but it goes like slavery, feudalism, capitalism, or feudalism, slavery, capitalism, right? So them going through that transformation in the West or in Europe is what leads them to invent the concept of race and racism in order to go and extract the resources based on the class warfare here in the West. But that's not to say racism as like a prejudice didn't already exist. It just wasn't like exploited. So at the point where you go from like transatlantic slavery is serious and it's one thing, but the British country or the British colonial empire is probably much deeper in terms of why it happened and how it targets race specifically, but it's done through a class system. Does that make sense? So colonizing India, colonizing China,
if you're gonna look at a whole
colonizing the
country, how are
Caribbean.
you gonna say class? If you're gonna look at like
Yeah.
Britain as a whole, right? Britain in itself has multiple classes of people. There are
Facts.
peasants and there are really rich people, and obviously the rich people are going to benefit directly more from colonization. But that's every poor person
Facts.
who's had their like house built up, their country built up. They all indirectly benefit, right? So it's not
Yeah,
like
this is facts.
only one class benefits. Like that's why Europe looks like how it does. Other places don't. The entire like if you're poor in Europe, it's 10 times. It's fucking like 15 times better than being poor anywhere else. It's way better being poor in America than it is being poor in India. I promise you that.
Yeah, you're probably right, but there's also an element of subjectivity there as well, because like
I mean, I've seen both.
if
But
you think
poor
about
in India means you don't have clean water. Like
no,
you'll never,
you're right,
never
but
have that in America.
you're right, but you also got to understand the material. Like so, a subjective comparison, like being poor here is worse than being poor there. It's a valid claim, and it's more of a subjective claim because if you talk about the material standard in this country versus the material standard in that country, one might say, right, for instance, like a platitude is like, is the billionaire more free than the homeless man? Right? In that type of construct, the billionaire is from this concrete kind of jungle, all these built up constructs which make it so he does what he does. The homeless man is from this particular place. He might live in a forest, might live in the woods, might live in the plains or whatever. But his material reality dictates what he does. Now, for instance, there are people who view like, of course, due to like Windrush and colonialism, a lot of us like second, third generation Black Brits, we've got a lot of parents and grandparents, Indians too, and Pakistanis as well, right? Asians too, who would be like, our primary view is just to get back to this freedom, even though the freedom that they're describing is essentially poverty, but that type of freedom is more appealing to them than the constraints of their situation here. Does that make sense? So what
Yeah,
you
no, I
said
can
is
see
right,
that.
but there's still levels to it in
But I
comparison.
feel like that's more of a social thing, like an esteem thing. Like you'd rather maybe be poor in a place where you're like with your own or like respected, right? Or like not looked down upon.
Yeah,
That's more of like that's like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs type thing. It's like, do you need
but
that more? Do you need water more? For different
right.
people, different things are more important. You know what I'm saying?
But it also goes on to things like the environment, the climate, right? The sun, right? The freeness of a tree with fruits. It's not accessible to everybody, but to some people, that's a preferable type of poor to a inner city type of poor, or to a council estate type of poor, or a village type of poor. To some people, that type of poor offers them a more fulfillment. Does that make sense?
Well, I just think like in the future, right? A country like in India or a country like in Nigeria, in Africa, getting really rich and successful, right, from being poor, just like what China did for East Asia, right? Because Japan and Korea have like tiny populations compared to China. China has like the vast majority of them, and I think that's gonna be much more important in everything, right? So it's not gonna matter that they're like of a different class afterwards. Like if there is a really successful African country, people will look at Africans and that whole continent differently, right? And that'll uplift so many more people in class. 'Cause I see class as something that's really
Kind
always
of,
gonna exist.
kind of.
Like
But like
it's way more important to make these countries
it's
successful, to make your race have something to like, you know, hang its hat on. Like, I see Chinese in America were
in
made
our
fun of
paradigm.
hella.
In our paradigm, that makes sense, but it may not make sense in their paradigm. For like, think about it like this, right? People like to harp on, which is actually a piece of propaganda, that like black Africans sold Africans into slavery. The key question and concept is, all right, demonstrate to us where the ledgers were. What was the mode of currency that you traded with? If Africans had gold in abundance and they didn't value it how Europeans valued it, what success in a black African world is not the same as success in a white European world. Okay, so as far as saying, if we just make this African continent or country in Africa richer, or this place in India or Asia richer, we therefore make things better. It's not necessarily true. We're saying we want to take the system that is indigenous to the West and essentially colonize the rest of the world and say you should capitulate to the system and it's going to make things better, but it might not. It's just a concern. It's not necessarily a truth, but a concern.
Yeah, and also this is guy in the comments, Suave. He's saying Christianity set the landscape for science. He's saying it's more religion, but he's Suave. Like these other places, like we had numbers and like decimals and zero before anyone else, and you can't say that's like because of Hinduism. These things just happen. Innovation is compounds on itself, right? And then the Arabs took that. They made the Roman numerals. If you look at Europe, right, and their ancient civilizations, really, the only thing that's quite impressive is Greece, right? It starts with Greece and then becomes Rome, but Greece is like fucking all that shit comes straight from fucking Egypt. It comes straight from Mesopotamia. It comes from these other civilizations, and they write about it in their own books. They're like yeah, it's like an amalgamation of all these places, and
Europe has the youngest
Europeans can't take
civilization.
100%.
They have the youngest civilization. A lot of people don't understand that, but yeah, like they hold up Greece as like the pinnacle of civilization. That's why the whole like Renaissance period always keeps bringing them back to that kind of view, whether it's in France, whether it's in Spain or England or whatever, and now in America, they're just stuck on that piece of history because
they're stuck on it
because they're young.
On their dollar bills. They talk about Rome and the founding of America. It all goes back to Rome for these people because they have really nothing else to hang their hat on. Every kind of people from like other places had civilizations like 1500 years before Rome, 3000 BC, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what were they doing for 1500 years? What were they doing during the Dark Ages?
Sorry.
No, but like they make it like, not understanding these things, thinking that like Christianity is the only reason why people can get civilized. This brings up this kind of this manifest destiny kind of view where like, you know, you should go out and spread it because it's just inherently better, which is not true at all.
And that you've been sanctioned and ordained to do so. Slay the heathens, seize their lands and their resources in the name of God. Bullshit.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's not just the Christians who be doing that, bro.
Oh, facts. But they did it. They did it the best. No, well, actually.
Nah, the Muslims, bro.
Muslims
people don't talk
bad.
about the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, I know. I fucking know. Right? Muslims are pretty bad. But since we live in the West, we're like Anglophone countries, Christianity, the history there dominates more than how in the Arab
Yeah,
world. The Arab world kind of gets a blight, like it's a lot of their dirt is swept under the carpet based on our current climate of discrimination and shit like that. You can't talk about certain
exactly,
things.
bro. You think about that? They get away with stuff because they're considered of a lower class, right? And like a Marxist view,
I wouldn't say that.
they're like, oh, these poor browns. That can go with India and Pakistan and all these other countries too. They're like, oh, they're like these poor browns, these poor blacks. You know, we're not gonna hold them to the same standards that we hold white people up to because we're so civilized. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of, yeah. I can see what you're saying, right? There are people who would play on that for sure. There are people who would play on that for sure. I just think, like, think about the conversation we had earlier on. Our bro dropped down. Or so we should probably put a lid on that anyway because it was getting a bit discriminatory. but yeah, like if you think about the conversation that I was having earlier on and how crazy Faceless Goat was getting about her religion and her Somalian identity and ethnicity. We're in a space like post 9/11, post 7/7, where the right wingers and the racists have like they've exacerbated, that's the right way you say it, the climate in such a way that any critique is an attack. Yes, there are protective identities, which there should be, but a critique isn't necessarily an attack. So in terms of that critique, there's certain pieces and facts about history that you can't really talk about without being considered a bad person. Same goes for white people, same goes for black people. Just depends who's saying what when. That's what it comes down to. But yeah, I think that's going to be the end of that. But just remember, folks, a pirate knows many islands. Alright.